So as we meet today, we must recognize that this poses a significant threat to our own programs, and it leaves a very big funding gap in our AIDS response, particularly the programs of prevention, which I think will suffer heavily if we do not do something about it. I urge the three Icasa committees that are going to be meeting today to revisit their plenary topics. It is crucial that as we work within our respective committees, we address the domestic financing of health systems and the sustainability of our HIV and AIDS response. This should be incorporated into one of the proposed plenaries across the three committees, as we believe it is crucial and critical for maintaining the momentum of Icasa and how we fight for HIV, AIDS, TB, and malaria. Icasa 2025 will be organized during a particularly challenging period, and if we do not think innovatively about the sustainability of our health systems, especially with domestic funding, our beloved continent will risk returning to the very dark days of the 1980s, 1990s, when people were dying weekly from HIV and AIDS due to lack of medicines. Today, we cannot afford to go back. It is important that we recognize that we have the medicines, we have the science, and recently have seen promising results from groundbreaking research, particularly in South Africa, where the HIV cure trial has shown hope for a cure. We call on the African Union and all African governments to closely examine this trial and ensure it is owned by the continent to alleviate our own burden. I wish to extend my warmest congratulations to His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama of the Republic of Ghana on his re-election, and also for the very peaceful transfer of power that happened in December, during the December elections. Let me congratulate also the good people of Ghana for this exemplary achievement. I think this is important for us as Africa. Now, we believe that under the leadership of President Mahama, we will have a vibrant and successful conference in Ghana. And we really look forward to that. We think the atmosphere in Ghana is conducive to that. The enthusiasm for fighting HIV and AIDS and TB and malaria has not been dampened. And in my closing remarks, I invite all Africans, including the diaspora, to wake up to the challenge of us strengthening our own health systems in a way that prioritizes our own accountability, our own transparency, and the universal access to care. And most importantly, that our strategies should include sustainability agendas. These principles should drive our policies forward. I wish us a very peaceful deliberation as we embark on this important journey toward Icasa 2025 in December, here in Accra, in Ghana. Together, let's work to make this a defining moment for the health and the future of Africa. I wish to thank you. We will now go back to our agenda. So I'm going to walk back and sit there. The agenda is very clear. When we have Icasa meetings, the president of that Icasa meeting is always the president of SAR. And the vice president is the Minister of Health of the host country, in this particular case, in Ghana. Now, our host, which is Ghana, we are sure the minister is coming soon, but Dr. Franklin Beko is going to give us welcoming remarks on behalf of the minister, and thereafter we can proceed with other item agendas. Thank you.
The co-chair of this meeting and the president of Icasa, Honorable Dr. David Wesisi Perrin Watua, coordinator of the Society for AIDS and STIs in Africa, Mr. Luke Bodier, board members of SAR, development partners and sponsors, state and non-state actors, distinguished members of the International Steering Committee for Icasa 2025, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you warm greetings from the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, under whose leadership this meeting is taking place. Let me begin by thanking the Society for AIDS and STI in Africa for appointing Ghana to host the next Icasa from the 3rd to the 8th of December this year. This is a great honor and opportunity for Ghana to demonstrate the proverbial hospitality to all delegates who will be flocking to this country for this very important conference. We recognize that this is a great platform to showcase the continent's progress in disease control and public health interventions, especially HIV, hepatitis, tuberculosis, and newly emerging epidemics. As you may be aware, Ghana's prevalence has remained below 2% for almost a decade, and new infections and deaths are declining steadily, whilst TB case notification and treatment is improving. We are at the threshold of even eliminating syphilis and malaria in some districts, and our 95-95 status is currently at 72, 86, and 90. Despite this progress made so far, there exist programmatic and funding gaps in the national response and the whole continent. There also exists a wealth of knowledge, resources, and best practices that can be exchanged through this upcoming conference to catalyze our efforts towards epidemic control. I have taken note of the significant progress you have made so far since the first steering committee meeting and urge you to sustain the momentum towards a very successful conference. It is critical for us to meet soon after this meeting to establish the secretariat in line with the MOU signed between the ministry and the society. We will deploy all resources available to ensure a very successful maiden conference in Ghana. We will work with all relevant agencies, that is finance, tourism, national security, foreign affairs, and etc., for a smooth event come December. I urge all partners and private corporate organizations to support or sponsor this very important course so that the country's health sector will have the necessary boost to end HIV and STI in the sub-region and the continent as a whole. We expect that this hosting very important meeting will also contribute to the economy and GDP of the country, and I therefore call on all of us to invest in it and participate meaningfully. I await the outcome of this very important meeting to guide my further engagement with SARS towards a very successful Icasa 2025. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for those words. I think it's good to hear that Ghana is committed to our MOU and also that they will support the conference as it gets along. Well, you heard Ghana's 2% prevalence rate of HIV, and it's stayed like that for some time. We hope it doesn't go up. So let's really continue to up our game. I think we'll call on our next speaker. And the next speaker is Clemens, where are you? Can you give us the logistical arrangements for this meeting?
Thank you, Sir President, Sir Board members, Sir Coordinator, distinguished guests, good morning. I'm privileged to take you through the housekeeping guidelines for this hybrid meeting. Attendance management. In-person participants, please sign the attendance sheet upon registration. Online, ensure your name is displayed correctly on Zoom for accurate attendance tracking. Microphones and camera usage. Online participants, keep your microphone mute unless you are speaking. In person, please silence your phone and minimize any distraction. Questions and comments. Online participants, use the Q&A feature to submit questions. In person, raise your hand to be acknowledged. The SAR president will curate and address all questions. Language interpretation. Online participant. Click the interpretation icon on Zoom and select your preferred language. You may mute the original audio if necessary. In person, please choose your preferred language from the channel. Recording and materials. The meeting will be recorded and shared after this section. Presentation slides and additional resources will be emailed alongside with the meeting report. In-person guideline, seating arrangement. Kindly adhere to the seating arrangement in the room to maintain order. Break times. Tea break will be served today and tomorrow at Pavilion 2. That's next to the meeting room. Lunch will be served only today from 2 to 3 p.m. Kindly return promptly to ensure section continuous schedule. Direction and restroom. Restrooms are located outside, both on the left and the right hand side. Late checkout and airport drop-off. Please check out on time. Ensure you arrive at the airport at least 3 hours before your flight. Photographs. Group photography will be taken today at the end of the meeting. Tourist tour in Accra. If you wish to join the tour of Accra City, kindly reserve at the registration desk. Deadline today at 1 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Clemens. Very good announcements. The tourists, please make sure you tour Accra. It's very, very instructive. I've done that, and you see so many things that you wonder. Our next item on the agenda is from our Senior Program Officer, Gordon, who is going to give us an update from the Icasa Secretariat.
Good morning once again. My name is Gordon Tambro, Senior Programs Officer for the Society for AIDS in Africa. I'm here to present to you the progress report for Icasa 2025 slide. So on registration, if you notice, we are having a comparative analysis between the previous Icasa and the present Icasa. So you can see that in 2023, at this time, we had 156 delegates registered, 6 paid, and 8 media registrations. But for Icasa 2025, currently we have 56 delegates registered. We don't have any payments. We don't have any media payments. So I encourage everyone of us to take advantage of the early registration fee and register accordingly. Next slide. Yes, so for 2023 exhibition, we have 8 organizations that had already registered. But for Icasa 2025, we have a total of 3. Next slide. So with donor and partnership, for 2023, we had 5 organizations that had already pledged support to Icasa. But as at 2025, we have 1. So we are encouraging all our donor partners present to kindly take advantage of what we are offering, which will be shared during the marketing strategy presentation. So satellite symposia. So we have for Icasa 2023, we have 6 organizations that had registered as at March. For now, we have 1. Next slide. Yes. So most of us received a call for concurrent sessions from the Icasa Secretariat in the course of the last 2 weeks, based on the propositions that we have received so far. For the scientific program, under the non-abstract driven sessions, we haven't received any proposals from the call that was shared. We have 2 propositions for special sessions, And then we have 4 propositions for workshop. With the leadership program, we have 3 non-AFTA driven session propositions. We have 2 special sessions, and we have 1 workshop. For the community, we have no non-AFTA driven session propositions. We have 1 special session, and we have 4 workshops. Next slide. Yes, so abstract submission. After submission opened 1st March. As at 2023, we had 57 abstracts submitted, but Icasa 2025, we are in a comfortable lead at 70. Next slide. Yes, so we have, these are the website statistics from January to March from 2023 and 2025. So we can see that the top 10 countries that visit our website, we have the United States, we have Ghana following, we have South Africa, we have Nigeria, we have Kenya, Zimbabwe, Uganda, Netherlands, and United Kingdom, and France. We also have, for March, we have a total of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd week. Statistics are, as you can see them. Next slide. Yes, so we have a very vibrant social media, as most of you have been complimenting us. These are our various social media pages. You can see that since the first ISC meeting, we have shared over 100 targeted communications on every aspect of the conference, from abstract submission to exhibition, satellites, and a call for community concurrent sessions. We've also shared over 2,000 marketing materials across all our platforms of a vibrant database of 25,000 plus. So we encourage all of us present to interact with us via our social media channels as listed, and we will be very happy to reply your messages and share your concerns with all and sundry. Thank you very much. Merci.
You know, a few years ago, when I became very active with Society for AIDS in Africa, these young boys like Gordon and them were very young, and it's so good to see them grow up and being able to present with confidence. So look, I think it's good. You are grooming people. That's how every organization should work. You groom others, they come in, they get confident, and they grow beards. I think it's a good thing. We're very pleased with that. But that report he has given us, it's not meant to discourage, just to say, look, we need to work hard, especially Ghana must work hard. The last conference was in 2023 in Harare. It's not really a comparison between Harare and Accra. It's rather to say, where are we at this point in time? So let's really see that we just need to work very hard. There may be comments from anybody, questions at this juncture about that presentation. Anybody wants to question? Yes, yes, Dottie.
Just an addition that you can think about adding TikTok to pull in the younger generation, so the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas, to join the conversation around Icasa.
Let's note that. There's a question at the back, a comment at the back. Yes, Professor.
Thank you, Chair. I'm encouraged by the surge in the abstracts that are being submitted. And it would be good, I think, just to keep an analysis and to see the percentage of the young ones that, the young researchers that are making submissions. And this is for me in particularly because of the abstract mentoring program that has just been launched, and to see also what is the balance between the younger researchers and those of us that may not be so young. Thank you, Chair.
Yes. Sometimes just rehash your name so that we continue knowing you.
All right, my name is Mary. I want to suggest that the Secretariat could also hold a challenge for members of the steering committee who are really engaging on their personal or organizational social media and reward them accordingly. Maybe that will make everyone very stand on their feet to promote the awareness for more people to register and also submit abstracts. Thank you.
Taking these notes because I will ask you to respond. Yes, Nyaradzo.
Thank you so much, Gordon, for sharing that. Even though we've had quite a number of abstracts higher than last Icasa, I don't think we've done a good job in terms of engaging us, the committee members, to engage our networks. Because when you look at other conferences like Interest, for example, by now the Secretariat would have written to us, the steering committee members, to say, please share this flyer for abstract submission with your networks. So if it's possible, could we have the Secretariat coming up with, I think my comment is similar to the very last one. Could we have the Secretariat coming up with flyers for us to advertise on our networks so that the word spreads faster and we cast our net wider? Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Meskaram.
Le secrétariat nous a déjà envoyé les messages à propos de la sélection des abstracts, des workshops et tout ça. Donc, je pense que chacun d'entre nous doit faire un travail au niveau des pays. Moi, je donne l'exemple, par exemple, pour le Togo, mais aussi avec le Bénin, je travaille, où on a tout ce que nous recevons du secrétariat, on le partage avec les partenaires, avec le Programme national de lutte contre le sida, les ONG, pour pouvoir justement mobiliser participation à Icasa, que ce soit en faisant des abstracts, workshops ou autres. Donc, je pense que c'est aussi ça qu'il faut qu'on retienne. Merci.
Thank you. Yes, Leo.
Thank you, Gordon, for sharing. And I like what you've said. It's not comparing Zim versus Ghana or Accra. Look, are we going to have a presentation on where we are on the implementation of the marketing strategy? I didn't see it, so on the agenda. It might be good. Dr. Aliu Silla made an excellent presentation in November last year. Might also be good, so to look at where we are in the implementation of the marketing strategy. There might be things we may want to retool, so, and key would be what do we have to do, so between now, what are the next milestones, so where do we want to see ourselves, so in June, in September, and then what is it that we need to do urgently? Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're right, Leo. I know that it's on the agenda, the marketing strategy on page 8. I see a few hands up, but let me ask Gordon to just respond to these so many comments before we come back to you. Gordon?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Okay, so on the social media, Dottie is noted, our social media assistant will take note of TikTok. With respect to the challenges being faced by ISC members, I think we normally share all our promotional materials via our database to all our members. Maybe we'd have to check our database. Maybe some emails are defunct. That's why members may not be receiving all our promotional materials with respect to the conference. So that would also be looked at. Thank you very much for drawing our attention. We would also consider some of the strategies shared by
Martin Mary. And also with respect to Dr. Leo Zeken's comments, yes, we have a marketing strategy presentation that will be presented by the Senior Marketing and Partnership Officer. So I'm sure after the presentation, it will clearly address some of the concerns that you have raised. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Gordon. Luke, you may want to add before I go to for further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What I want to say is that I will really urge all the SECOM meeting to check their mails, because we send a lot of information out, but we notice that you don't respond. I beg you, when we send you the information, channel it to your various network. It will help a lot, because without you, there's no way we can move forward. You are all ambassadors of this conference. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, there are a few hands up here. Yes, yes, madam. Just rehash your name.
Okay, my name is Cecilia Senu. I'm a member of SWA, Society for Women and AIDS in Africa, and a board member of the Global Fund. I think my question has been addressed by Luke, where I was going to recommend that there are a number of civil society networks across Africa. If we could share with them, we are already sharing ILASO, GFAN, and all those networks that we have. I think it will help us to get a lot of people who are interested in reporting and registering for this and taking, maybe participating in various workshops and meetings. So I'm just advocating for wider circulation across Africa. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Alors, pour Innocent Liaison, moi, c'était juste une petite... Really? Allô? Il y a quelque chose qui ne marche pas. Très bien. Vous m'entendez? Très bien. Donc, Innocent Liaison, c'était juste une petite remarque sur la présentation. Merci, Gordon. J'ai vu la fréquence de visites sur le site web et les pays que vous avez mis en exergue. J'ai remarqué qu'il n'y avait pratiquement pas de pays francophones. Et moi, souvent, ça m'interpelle. Quand je ne vois pas les pays francophones, je me dis, mais pourquoi? Est-ce qu'il y a un rapport entre cette visite et le fait qu'il y ait des abstracts francophones ou anglophones? C'est un peu de voir quel est le rapport qu'on peut établir. Mais toujours est-il que je crois, nous autres francophones, nous sommes interpellés pour que les pays francophones, en tout cas, connaissent un peu mieux ce Icasa et peut-être participe à cette dynamique, surtout pour la session de 2025. Je crois que les dernières sessions qu'on a vécues, les pays francophones se sont beaucoup plaints, mais il va leur appartenir maintenant de prendre leur implication dans cette édition-là. Juste une remarque que je voulais faire. Merci.
Thank you. Pourquoi? Gordon, do you know any reason? Mike, yeah. Why is there no much of French participation, French-speaking African?
I think the Icasa director and also address this issue, because we notice over time that we have no engagement from our Anglophone partners over the time. So we are trying as much as possible in all our communications to translate both English and French. Our websites, our links, our platforms are all bilingual, because Icasa is bilingual. So we also use this opportunity to encourage all our Francophone friends and partners to engage us accordingly, so that we can also see them on the website. However, this is just the most recent but last week we had Cote d'Ivoire, and Congo featuring heavily. But this is just the current statistics. So we do have French countries visiting the website, not as much as the Anglophone, but we're encouraging all our Francophone partners to continue spreading the word so that we have more engagement on all our platforms. Thank you very much. I think this agenda item, I think we've exhausted it. Next agenda item is we're going to hear from the Icasa Vice President, Professor Shakron, on the 3 program committees highlighting the gaps.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Dear guests, dear colleagues, good morning. I hope you are doing well for this second International Steering Committee for Icasa 2025. And I'm pleased to present you what we agreed last meeting before going forward with the working group. But I think since the last meeting, many things were changed, especially with the phrasing US external assistance and US aid support. I think we have to keep in mind this issue, and we have also to adapt at least one topic from each program, scientific program, leadership program, and community program, to address this concern and to reflect also what we can provide African solution for African problems, and to reflect also how we can mobilize more domestic funding, and how also to be more effective in HIV response, and also in response of other diseases in Africa. So just slides, please. So next. So let's start with what are the tasks to be completed during the group session. So each of the 3 program committees are to complete the following. First, select 1 plenary speaker per topic. Second, select 2 backup plenary speakers per topic. Third point is to provide emails, email addresses, contact details for selected plenary speaker and backup speaker, and provide focal point per topic. So focal point person should be able to reach the proposed plenary speaker at any given time and assist in the preparation of plenary presentation. Focal persons also serve to liaison between the plenary speaker and the Icasa secretary. Next slide. So this is the first scientific program. We start with the scientific program and the plenary topics that we agreed during the last meeting. The first topic is advanced therapeutics, innovation and research for HIV, TB, and malaria, and as well as STIs. So the proposed speaker, Dr. Margaret Romiona, I think I spelled well the name, from Nigeria. And here we have only one speaker. We can propose other speaker, and we can agree on one. Second topic is equitable access to innovative biomedical intervention for HIV, TB, malaria in Africa, Prof. Linda Gale Baker from South Africa. The third topic is epidemiology or status of HIV in Africa. Where are we now? Dr. Marie from Geneva, I think she's from UNAIDS. The fourth topic is 10 societal enables targets the need for bold political leadership. Dr. Mbuji from Kenya. And the last topic for a scientific program is the impact of emerging diseases on access to prevention and treatment of HIV, TB, and malaria. And the proposed speaker is Prof. Jean-Jacques Mwambi Tamfin from Democratic Republic of Congo. So we can move to the second program and we open discussion after that. So leadership program, the five proposed topics are, the first one is innovative sustainable solution for the fight against AIDS, TB, and malaria. The nominate plenary is the Minister of Finance from Africa. The name of the country is not yet specified or identified, but we have to identify perhaps one Minister of Finance from one country in Africa. The second topic is the race to ending HIV by 2030, refocusing on children and young people. And we have two proposed speakers for this topic, Dr. Susan Shebet from Kenya and Dr. Adam Zakia from Togo. The third topic was harnessing digital innovation to revolutionize health systems, opportunities for global impact. And we have three proposed speakers. Dr. Boema Segona from Botswana, Dr. Dino Rich from South Africa, and Dr. Modibe Age McCracken from Benin. Next topic is the intersection of climate change and AIDS, TB, and malaria, challenges, impact, and solution for sustainable future. We have two proposed speakers in this topic, Dr. Gloria Memela from South Africa and Dr. Kodia Sow from Senegal. The last topic for leadership program is strengthening Africa resilience, integrated approaches to pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. We have two proposed speakers, Dr. Rebecca Moati from Botswana and Her Excellence Honorary Bernard Hofiki from Namibia. Next, please. So we move to the last community program. The five proposed topics are, the first one is community-led driven response, what works and what doesn't. The case of key vulnerable and aging population in emerging health threats. And we have four proposed speakers, Tatayot Lee Junior Molefi from Botswana, Sherif Motobeng from Lesotho, Honorary Fox Odie Owele from Uganda, and Dr. Shumli Muzambia from Zambia. So the second topic is HIV prevention now, centering adolescent girls, young women, and pediatrics. We have three speakers, proposed speakers, Dr. Mogomo Tsi Matshaba from Botswana, Sisopi Adjovi Rozuruki from Togo, and Kamengo Zoe Nakamba from Zambia. The third topic is sustainable response, localization, social enterprising, and increasing resource mobilization, financing toward the end of HIV and emerging diseases in Africa. And we will have six proposed speakers. from Zambia, from Mozambique, from Cameroon, from Kenya, from Africa, and from Ghana. So you have to select one of these proposed speakers. Next one, please. So the two last topic from community program, digital health, advancing community-led solution for lasting impact. We have three proposed speakers from Ghana, Nigeria, and Ghana also, two from Ghana, Alberta Nedutai and Ernest Ortsin from Ghana, and Shuk Wima Ngozi Shuko from Nigeria. And the last topic is 5 years before 2030, the imperative of enhancing human rights to advance health. And we have here four proposed speakers from Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, and Zimbabwe, and you have to select one. Just my last comment also is when you discuss the topics and the speakers, I would suggest to take into account the gender balance and also geographic distribution across the continent to ensure that all regions of Africa are well represented in these topics and also as speakers. Thank you so much for your attention, and we'll be happy to take your question with Mr. Luc Boudia, Director of SAR. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor. Any questions? I think it was very clear. Clearly, 5 plenary topics have been allocated, but make sure one of them talks about domestic finding. And I liked, Professor, you emphasized the regional representation, gender representation, language representation. Yeah, any questions and comments? Yes.
Merci beaucoup. Vous m'entendez maintenant? Est-ce que vous m'entendez très bien? Parfait. Merci, merci infiniment, professeur. Je crois que c'est très clair et vous avez bien fait de rappeler les principes qui ont été énoncés ici lors de la première réunion. Et cela me permet de, spécialement pour le programme communautaire, de rappeler notre accord interne. On avait distribué les sessions de sorte à avoir 2 sessions à accorder aux francophones. Je crois que sur cette base-là, même s'il y a des speakers concurrents, il faut aller dans le sens de positionner les francophones pour ces sessions. Je rappelle que c'est la session 2 et la session 3.
If you can have a slide, please.
Donc, c'est
for communities program.
Ces sessions-là, je crois qu'on avait un accord interne. Alors, le dernier élément, c'est juste de nous dire pour les communautaires que les questions de financement domestique, je crois que notre formulation n'a pas besoin de connaître une évolution. Et clairement, je crois qu'elle prend en compte l'impact ou peut-être en tout cas la situation de la suspension de l'aide américaine au programme de santé et spécialement pour l'Afrique. Donc, je crois qu'on n'a pas besoin de retravailler la formulation. Il s'agira simplement de bien documenter. Merci à vous.
Thank you so much for your comments. So you are talking about 2 topics, HIV prevention and sustainable response. So you agree that you need to have francophone speakers for these 2 topics. Okay. Internal agreement. Yes, no. But we can continue discussion during the working group. Yes, please. I will come back. Cecilia, I will come back to you. Please.
Is it my turn to speak?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can speak.
Okay. I think the comrade is misrepresenting what happened in that group. We said we will have speakers from the Francophone countries, but we did not allocate to specifically who and where. We had an opportunity, comrade, to add on names, and there's no names that are added. Where must we find it if the Francophone countries don't put the names on the list? We did work, but we did not say specifically those two topics are going to be for Francophone countries. Unless I'm misunderstanding. Brian and Dottie, please, we need to solve this because it's becoming a problem as the chair.
Okay, thank you.
Representing me.
I think we can continue discussing this during Cecilia and after you. So, yes.
Thank
Cecilia,
you.
please.
Yes, thank you very much for the presentation. I have seen a number of Ghanaian presenters that are proposed. My recommendation, for example, HIV prevention among adolescents, we will need to consider a young person living with HIV in Ghana also to be part of it. And I mean, the other one, which is scientific, a lot is happening in Ghana. Some of the reasons why our prevalence still remains very low, we might need to get some scientific, maybe NACP and other people who will be part of it to share some of the strategies that we are doing. We are implementing that is contributing to the low prevalence. And my recommendation again is that the Ghanaian speakers, that we can meet and maybe reconsider and propose other names can contribute significantly to this so that we can make it broader. I don't see any female in Ghana among the speakers. And looking at gender, it's important that we consider females. We have the president of persons living with HIV, NAPLAS. I am really expecting to see her being part of the speakers. So my recommendation is that Ghana should look at people who will be speaking on behalf of Ghana and propose them for consideration. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. Please go ahead. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Please highlight your name and
Yeah, my name is Abraham Kanyamba from the community program group. So I just want to mention one thing of the community. I think there are a lot of stuff we might need to really discuss when
the sound is not clear. Perhaps you have to change the mic.
They are not ready. Okay, Professor, they are not ready.
No, thank you, President. I think, let me say that Icasa should deal with the diversity of our continent. And what I highlighted are the key principles of the selection of speakers. So we have to respect as much as possible the gender balance, the language balance, and the geographic also distribution in our continent. Our continent is very vast, and we have to bring all people from all countries, from all regions, from all languages to Icasa. So please try to respect this as much as possible. And we can discuss in each group about this principle. Thank you.
Okay, there's a comment here.
Thank you, Chair. My concern is civil society had a Google form online for nominating these speakers. But I think names that I've seen here is quite different from what we had on the Google form. So,
did you agree on the names?
Yeah, I saw a few here, but I think some are missing here.
Okay, so Professor, there are certain names that are they're saying they're not being reflected there. So you may need to sit down with him to try and coordinate that.
Okay.
Yeah. You want, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me explain, this name that you are seeing is the result of the compilation of what you sent to us. You cannot see all the names. It's a compilation, right? That we work with the committee and we finalize. This is what we are seeing. You cannot see all the names that people propose from the beginning to now, no, because it passed through a process, and this is the final name that we have. However, you are now going for a breakaway session where I will appreciate that you reserve your question there and you deal in the various committee about your issue. Make sure that you respect the time frame and you come out with what we are expecting from you. Thank you.
Right. But I think also, please look, correct me if I'm wrong, look. No name is still confirmed, so we can change, we can add, and we can adapt the names.
Yes, sir. So far, there's no confirmation on name. It's now that you have to confirm it. What you have is a proposition. You need to finalize it. You know, however, when we are finalizing it, you have to bear in mind that you need to take 1 picks for sustainability and domestic financing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think there are no other comments. So, President, you can close this session.
Thank you very much, Vice President. You have done well. I would like Luke to just explain how the discussions are going to come now.
Hi, Mr. Chair. My
Thank you,
hand
Mr.
is up.
President. We need to call the chair of the various program and the co-chair. The chair of the scientific program committee. Prof is there. Is the chair of the scientific program committee. We have the co-chair. The co-chair of the scientific program committee is Professor Opanfo, I think so. The co-chair of the scientific program committee. Professor Opanfo normally is the co-chair of the scientific program committee. Now we have the chair of the leadership program committee. And we have the co-chair of the leadership program committee. Please, the president wants you to present yourself, please. Introduce yourself. Then let me start again. The chair of the scientific programme committee. Professeur, le président souhaiterait que vous présentiez et que vous présentiez encore votre nom.
Merci. Je m'appelle Liévin Capen de la RDC. Je suis le secrétaire exécutif national du programme multisectoriel en RDC. Pardon?
Thank you, sir.
Merci.
The co-chair of the scientific program. Normally, Professor Opanfo in my documentation. Yeah, is a Professor Opanfo. Opanfo. Yeah, Opanfo.
Where is he?
Yeah, Professor William Opanfo. Yeah.
Yes, I am here.
The chair of the leadership program. The co-chair of the leadership program.
Yes, sir. Okay. The chair is here. Benjamin,
can you present yourself, please?
Yes, Benjamin Dudalbai from the African Union. I'm the chair of the leadership program. Yeah, thank you.
The co-chair, Gordon, do you have the co-chair of the leadership program here? The co-chair?
Is it supposed
No, he's not here. Normally, he's from the local side. He's not here. Okay. The name? We have the name. It's on the documentation. The chair of the leadership program, the chair of the community program.
Yvette Raphael, South Africa.
The co-chair of the community program. Can you introduce yourself, please? Okay, thank you, sir. Now that we know the chair and the co-chair, we know how we broke away last time. To be the same thing, we put the leadership, the scientific web was campaign is, and for the leadership group, we put it on this side, on my right side here. And for the community group, we put them here. My left down here. Pardon? No, here. You can go there. Yeah, depend. Okay. Please, can you, Prof, the term of reference is in the documentation. Yeah. But make sure that you finalize the plenary speakers. This is what we need. When we are finalizing the plenary speakers, because you have the plenary topics there already, we just need the speakers. But don't forget that we need to change one of the topics to reflect domestic financing in Africa and sustainability, health sustainability system in Africa. Then these topics should be part. Then we need to change one of the topics to reflect those ones. That's all. This is what we need to do now when we break away. Please make sure that it should reflect the regional geographic zone of Africa. Make sure that we have the balance of the languages. No, don't forget that Icasa is bilingual, is English and French. And also don't forget to balance the gender. It's tough, but I'm sure that you can do it. Thank you so much. Can we break now? Mr. Chair, over to you. They are breaking for normally, yeah, is 45 minutes.
45, so 12
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah.
That include tea break?
Yeah, tea break now. Clemens, is it tea break time? Clemens, are you in?
Yeah, she did mention this time, so
Okay.
people can start at 1:15 until the o'clock, until,
Then we can have tea break.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's have tea break now, and then we'll meet at 1:15. And then we'll have our session for 45 minutes thereafter. Yes, Professor Sheila.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. We didn't get to know who is our co-chair from Ghana. And I
From the
think that's
leadership.
very important.
From the leadership.
Leadership, yes.
Gordon, can you give me the co-chair, the name of the co-chair from Ghana?
The co-chair of the leadership program is Dr. Angela Eladas from Ghana. Thank you very much.
But I'm very sorry because we apologize that she could not make it. And we want to replace her, not replace it, but we want to ask the Director General of Ghana Health Commission to take over from her.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Of course.
Let's go. And then we meet.
Community, can we come inside?
Hey, community are not machines. Already like all these. I'm saying community are not like they already have their names, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Perhaps the scientific chair, Professor Capent, are you ready? Are you ready, Prof? If you are not, then perhaps we go to the leadership. Dr. Joe Dabaye, can you present? Please, let's listen, because what will happen is after the chairs have presented, we critique it, and then we go back to your groups again to review this and finalize. So let's listen intently.
Thank you very much, Chair. So the community, the leadership group, we have completed our work, and there is a rapporteur for the group, Ms. Cecilia. She's here, so she's going to make the presentation on behalf of the group. Thank you, Chair. Can we have our presentation, please? Yes, Cynthia.
Thank you very much. So for our group, for innovative and sustainable solutions for the fight against ATM, we are proposing Prof. Mohammed Ali Pati from Nigeria. So what we are proposing is to have another column and come out with short bio about them. And then we are also, and his focal person will be Temi Topo from Nigeria. He's a Director General. And then we are also proposing the second person will be Ronald Wadani and from Benin. And his focal person will be Valentine Madigan. And the third person will be Dr. Atufosin from Ghana Minister for Finance. And the focal person will be Louise Amu, who is the chair of the CCN. Then the
The next one, the race to ending HIV by 2030, focusing on children and young people. We are proposing Dr. Adam Zakilantu from Togo. The focal person will be Dr. Maskerin, who is here. And then we are also proposing Dr. Susan Kebet from Kenya. We are here to get the focal person for her. Harnessing digital innovations to revolutionize health systems, opportunity for global impact. We are proposing Dr. Modupi Ogbe from Benin, and focal person will be Valentin Medagin, Medgani, who is the focal person for the previous one. Please go down for me. The interaction of climate, is that it? The intersection, we are proposing Dr. Odiaso from Senegal. Focal person will be Sophia Tutian. Then we are also proposing Dr. Gloria Memory, and focal person is yet to be provided to you. The next one, strengthening Africa's resilience, integrated approaches to pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. We are proposing Dr. Moiti from Botswana, focal person will be Prof. Sheila. We are also proposing Honorable Bernard Rufiku. It's not there. Prof. Sivawoka from DRC Congo, focal person will be Dr. M. Mboyo. And then we are also proposing Dr. Bernard Rufiku from Namibia. We'll be adding the focal person for Dr. Honorable Bernard Rufiku. Thank you.
So thank you, Chair. This is the outcome of the leadership group. So there are some typos on the names. We are going to correct them. We were working very fast. And also we will complete the list of the focal persons by, yes, and the bios of the main speakers. And also we complete with the emails and the telephone numbers of the focal persons. Thank you very much.
We requested that one of the topics should specifically address domestic funding and financing. We don't see it clearly there unless it's incorporated in one of them.
Number one is addressing the domestic health financing.
Can you put it back again?
So, when you see innovative and sustainable solution for fight against ACV and malaria, the reason why Professor Mohamed Ali Pate is proposed is because of the effort that he is making, in mobilizing domestic resources in Nigeria, so that this will be this will be really showcase of the effort that he is doing in the country for the others. So the focus will be on domestic health financing, although the title is Innovative and Sustainable Solutions. We just want to leave it abroad like this. Thank you.
Okay, I hope others agree that you wanted to couch it, you want to hide it a bit. We thought it would be so distinct. And of course, I'm noticing that a lot of the speakers, some of the people here don't actually know them. Maybe it has been suggested here that in future, it would be good to have just a short bio on some of these people so that you know who we are talking about. But
exactly, that is exactly the next thing that we are going to do. We are going to propose a column, where we will highlight the short bios of each of the speakers that we are proposing. Yes. And also Romuald, from Benin, is the current Minister of Finance of Benin, who is even one of the winners of the international prizes of the domestic health financing, something. So what we have seen here, it will come up, but just yes, thank you.
You wanted to say something?
Just to allay your fear and your concern, there was a good outline shared by the SAR Secretariat. So the title, it's on innovative health financing for sustainable African health system and HIV/TB responses. It's about the implication of the foreign aid. It's about exploring domestic resources mechanism through taxation, social protection mechanism, local and regional local manufacturing, public-private partnership, and so on and so forth. So for the interest of time, we did not, but we will just make a copy and paste here, in such a way that if he's willing to, Professor Pate, so it's really outlined what is currently being done. So just to allay your fear and concern that this outline really addresses it. Thank you.
Yeah, I still think let's not hide it. I think let's put domestic financing so that is clear. This is nice. It's very subtle because I know you are very deep people, but domestic financing is really what we want to target. So that is clear. But having said that, any other comments? Yes. Can you get?
Hello. It's not working. Hello. All right. So I think just like you just suggested, we can have that move there, just like we have the race to ending HIV by 2030, semicolon. So we have domestic financing, we have that column before we have innovative and sustainable solutions. That makes it come out clearly.
I think that would be more acceptable.
Oh, sir.
Yeah. Any other comments? From this group, about this presentation?
I think great presentation, and I want to agree. And as community, would look up to this group to lead us around the decolonization topic of healthcare. Then we will not see that a lot in this topic. So maybe like the president says, boldness, and now is maybe the time for advocacy.
Okay, I noticed the hand there. Was it Sheila? Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson. We try to be as regionally representative as possible, and we have actually asked for some names from the vice president for northern, presenters from the north. So we're awaiting that.
Okay, thanks, Professor Shakron. I'll wait for that. Can we change that right away to domestic financing, and then whatever you want in brackets? But Leo, can we have that changed immediately so that it reflects what you are saying? Domestic resource mobilization or funding or whatever you want to call it.
Delete. Just put domestic resource mobilization in front and then semicolon and then continue.
You don't want deletion, of course, because you want, I think that topic is attractive to read. Domestic resource mobilization. Yes. And then you can, I think that's, to me, that's better because it's a key topic. Okay. If there are no further comments on this group, can we go to the next group?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Can we go to the next group? The community, are you ready? Community, yes.
Now clap hands for real community. Thank you so much. Our group, the community, deliberated on our topics and sessions, and I'm going to give over to Dottie to present to us what we discussed, and I hope the community don't contradict themselves. Community, did you hear that disclaimer?
Okay, so just let me say this as before I start presenting. We set aside 2 sessions to be in French, so those will be purely Francophone sessions, 2 of them, and 3 will be in English, 3 will be in English. So Alex, so the first one is an English session. Topic is community-led data-driven responses, what works and what doesn't. The case of key vulnerable and aging populations in emerging health threats. Ooh, we fought. Because find me an aged key population, or am I that? So our speaker is Sheriff from Lesotho, who identifies as gender non-conforming. That is correct, right? They are gender non-conforming. Backup is Dr. Cholwe. Backup 2 is Honorable Fox Odoi. And Brian Kanyemba will be our point person for this session. Session 2 is a French session, meaning the speaker is from a Francophone country, from Togo. Topic is HIV now, centering adolescent girls, young women, and pediatrics. Ajovi is from Togo. We have tasked our contact person, Innocent, and other Francophones from the community group to give us backup 1 and backup 2 by the end of day. So I'll be stalking you. I know you. Session 3, which was initially a Francophone session, but consensus had to be, there's a lot of debating happening there. So we turned it into an English session. This is the one on domestic financing. So it was there already. So lucky for us, we might do some coinage of the wording if it's needed. But as it is, it reads sustainable response, localization, social enterprising, and increasing resource mobilization slash financing towards the end of HIV and emerging diseases in Africa. Our speaker is the very able Dr. Vuyiseka from the Global Fund. She is South African. Backup 1 is Bright. For us, Bright. That's our backup 1. And backup 2 is Grace Gode. The contact person for that session is our very able chair, Yvette Raphael. Clap for Yvette. Oh, come on. Yvette. Okay, and then let's go up. Scroll, please. Digital, so session number 4, digital health. Yeah, digital, it's on digital health, advancing community-led solutions for lasting impacts. Alberta, who I understand is from Ghana, does amazing work around digital health. So that is our speaker. Ernest, who's also Ghanaian, is the backup 1. Chukwuma from Nigeria is a backup 2. And Kikesi is session. So much bargaining. So this now is our second Francophone session, which is before 2030, the imperative of enhancing human rights to advance health. Again, we have tasked the Francophones from the community committee to give us a speaker and backup by end of day. Like I have your numbers. I will come for my speakers before end of today. As you know, there's a lot of conversations and it's very heated and passionate in the community committee. So kindly bear with us, but I and Yvette will give you speakers and backups for the sessions from the Francophone sessions that are still there. Chair. Clap for me now. No, the entire committee, the entire INC, clap for me now.
Thank you, Dottie. You must stay for questions. So we are open for questions, suggestions.
Sorry, but I think when you started giving us the first names, you were not giving the countries. Yes, you went down, you are now beginning to give a full sort of representation. So I found that a bit of a gap from my side because I'm not as familiar with some of those people.
Sharif Lesotho, Muziamba, Zambia, am I correct?
Sounds like it.
Foxodori, Uganda, is that correct? Yes, and then Brian is African. Ajovi from Togo, so we'll wait for backup 1 and 2, but there will be francophonies. So it will either be from West or Central Africa, because we need French speaking. Vui from South Africa, Bright is Ghanaian, Grace Gode is from, someone tell me, but I know it's a francophone. Grace Gode is from? Cameroon, yes, thank you. Albata is Ghanaian, Ernest is Ghanaian, please go up. Yeah, and then Chukwama is Nigerian. Then this last session tasked for francophone speakers as well.
Okay, no, thanks. I think it was up to that because what I'm noticing, just like the leadership group earlier on, the Central Africa and also I think the Northern Africa, it just seems to be a running gap in terms of representation. I'm not critiquing it, but I think it's just generally something that, yeah.
Yeah, I think what we've actually asked our group members is to do that in the course of today. And we were very much insisting that we get from, Western Central region. So those are the two places where you're seeing gaps now, but by end of day, it will look a little bit more different. It will be complete.
Are we done? Okay, one more question. Can we get a mic there?
Hello, my end. I raise my hand.
There's a mic here. I just want us to go back to the first speaker on the first topic. I just feel a bit that the speakers on that topic will have a very difficult time because there are issues that surround key populations that need to be addressed, and they are very distinct. We also have another group with the different challenges, which are very distinct from what we see, for example, in my own country. And I'm sure this is being observed. For example, we have children who were born with HIV, and as they grow up, they've been on an antiretrovirus. They are now teenagers, and they want to start a family. Suddenly, bang, they are told you are HIV positives, and they have just totally different challenges. Then we have the aging population, which also has their own challenges. How will this speaker speak on those three topics? Because they are so distinct, they are so important. So when I looked at the title there, what is bothering me in my head is just to feel sorry for the speaker. So I'd like the community group to give me some comfort on how this speaker is going to address these three distinct challenges from different populations.
Thank you so much for that comment. And I think we did have that discussion at length. One of the issues is that as we talk about, as you rightfully say, being born with HIV, aging, etc., we cannot leave people living with HIV out of this. As you can see, the whole community program does not talk about that. And Brian, don't run away. You you agreed that you are going to brief the speaker accordingly to cover everything because even key populations age most. That was your answer. Did I miss anything? I understand it being a difficult topic, colleagues.
I think colleagues, what we can say on this topic is we are going to really work with the presenters and really making sure that those specific issues are being raised. So it's going to be a very hands-on discussion until we come with presentations. Thank you.
Yeah, I think in general, it's very important to prime the speakers so that they're a bit more focused on what we want. So generally just prime them on such pertinent issues that have been raised by Professor Law.
Definitely, and I think maybe if we don't get to that point where we actually can put this all together in one, we're going to have to advocate for a session that's on aging, 3 or 3.
Yeah.
Living with HIV, because this is an AIDS conference, but
Yes.
yeah, so that we don't forget.
So our focal persons should have that sort of target to prime properly.
All right.
Okay, any other comments on this group? There's a comment from online, finally. Yes, can we have that?
Can somebody read the comment?
Can we have the online? Are we having problems again?
Yes, please.
Yes, you can.
Mr. Chair, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I'm Helen Vadini from UNAIDS Regional Office based in Dakar. My comment is about the community program topics. After the first committee meeting, we suggested speakers for the topic on sustainable response, and we submitted the main speaker and the backups. But I realized that in the meeting room they have changed, and now the francophone is allocated the topic number 5, which was not the case when we left the first meeting. I don't know why it changed. And then my second comment is about the seriousness of the community team. It was so hard to follow. I just want to request all the team members to just put the interest of the conference and the committee first before everything, because I had the feeling that we were just suggesting friends and things like that. And for me, we need really to focus on relevant people that will be able to make great presentations and to really make a difference. That's my comment, Mr. Chair. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Over to you.
You want to comment on that?
Just for clarity, we are in a meeting and we decided and we chopped and we changed and we deliberated. The meeting agreed that we change. There was a consensus. And I also wanted to say that we were very clear that we are not going to nominate and prime our friends. And that was why it was such a, difficult discussion. So thank you. Unfortunately, the meeting agreed that we should change the topic to be not francophone. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if you allow me, let me just inform the steering committee meeting that if you put your name there, the steering committee member will remove it on the secretariat side. This committee is there to select the best on the continent, not to select themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think we deliberated that, but yeah, there was misgivings. However, I think the committee did their best with what we had in the meeting, and thank you, Amandla.
Right, thanks for that achievement. Nomination of friends or self, I think it's proscribed. So, yep. Thank you. The last group. Last group is the what? Scientific group. Yeah, scientific group.
Et juste un petit commentaire, nous avons eu donc à discuter des 5 topics qui ont été présentés, mais le 4e topic a posé quelques problèmes par rapport à l'aspect scientifique. Hein, on va vous faire quelques commentaires là-dessus. Nous avons notre secrétaire que vous connaissez déjà, le colonel, entre guillemets, et qui va faire la présentation.
Thank you very much. So in this group, we also rephrase what we have already sent to the Secretariat. And for the first topic, slide. Okay. We rephrase a bit. Instead of putting advanced, we prefer advancing therapeutics for AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria in Africa. And then the speaker we identify come from Ilu Moania. And then we also identify 2 backups, Sisi Kitu Mutuluza from Uganda. And I put in bracket the one who proposed this backup. And then the second is Chikwe Hekweza from Africa City, Nigeria. Have been proposed by Professor Tope. And then we identify Professor Tope and Professor Ngodi as point person. Next. The second topic is innovative and efficient biomedical intervention for HIV, TB, malaria in Africa. And then we identify Prof. Linda Gale Baker from South Africa, is also a woman, and then 2 backup. Professor Ruben Wood from South Africa is the husband of Professor Linda, but they are working in the same topic, but in various dimensions. Also, Professor Papa Salifso from Senegal as the second backup. And then the point person we chose is Professor Ampofo William from Ghana. The third scientific topic is HIV in Africa. Where are we now? And then we believe that for this topic, we want the host country of Icasa to present this topic, and then we identify Dr. Stephen I.C. Addo. And then we also identify 2 backup as Dr. Mary Mahi from Geneva and Dr. Kafui Senia, who is also from WHO but working in Ghana. And then the point person we identify is Dr. Anthony Ashinio from Ghana. The fourth topic is the topic on which we have a discussion. We chose the 10 societal enablers target, the need for bold political leadership. But in the groups, as last time, we didn't have here now. Today we have more scientific, those who are working in laboratory, and they say that this is not a scientific topic. But we remember that when we are addressing scientific program in Icasa, we are talking about basic science, treatment, and clinical epidemiology and prevention, what we call human rights, and then implementation science. So all those people working that domain are also from science. Then, as we hear that the president of SAR will give, or the president of the session will give us maybe one sort of 15 minutes to come back, and then to complete, we say we are going to leave this, and then when we come back, we are going to rephrase that, and then to give him a more scientific dimension. Next slide. Our last topic is emerging and re-emerging disease on access to prevention and treatment of HIV, TB, and malaria in Africa. And then the one we identify is the one we chose last time is Professor J.J. Muhimba Tamfum from Democratic Republic of Congo. And then as backup, we identify Dr. Ahuka Steve, who is also from his team, from JJ team. Also the third, we don't have a name, but we believe that he has a very complete team, and then we can leave them choose a backup in case Professor Shashak Muhembe will not be available. And then for the point person, we choose somebody from Ghana. It is a woman, Professor Margaret Latte. So that's what we did, Mr. President.
Thank you. Before you come in, we still don't see anything in domestic financing. And that's key, domestic financing. I thought you were going to mention something on research in Africa, but certainly domestic financing, where are we?
Possibly the scientific committee. Okay. All right. So I've got a suggestion, possibly on research and sustainability. And I think this, I'll give an example for the AIDS levy that has been going on in Zimbabwe for years. And I think we could possibly ask our colleagues from Zimbabwe, from the scientific committee, to actually look on that, the AIDS levy, how it has been working since it was established as a suggestion scientific committee. Then the second thing, your first session on innovative and efficient biomedical interventions, blah, blah, blah. I think the same presenters have been presenting that over the years. And I think one of the things that we have been discussing around is possibly to change and give opportunity to others. So on that session, I am suggesting Professor Elizabeth Bukusi, a woman from Kenya, Professor Chirenje from Zimbabwe, or any other speakers. So possible to look on that as addition.
Yes, Chair. Thank you very much. I saw Dr. Chukwe's name there, and it was my Africa CDC. Dr. Chukwe is currently the acting regional director of WHO Afro. So, and he has never worked for Africa CDC. So please correct. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? I still want to hear about domestic resource mobilization from this group. Yes, Narazi.
So Chair, we didn't talk much about resource mobilization, but if we go to the very first session, we really wanted to bring up decolonization of health research, to talk about industrialization, innovation, and advancing therapeutics for Africa by Africans. So we really didn't want to be repetitive, but we wanted to build capacity in Africa. So I don't know whether that pacifies the leadership, that we are talking about decolonization. We are doing it for Africa, by Africa, for Africans. So that's the very first, this advancing therapeutics, developing capacity in Africa. And then you guys, the leadership, you can assist us with resource mobilization. Yeah.
Resource mobilization. And what you have said is not what's written there. It's completely,
yes,
it's so hidden. I think it's a guerrilla warfare here.
Yes, we've got some speaker notes for the speakers. So we should have flighted them here, but we had written down what we want them to talk about.
All right, let's hear from yes.
So I saw on the website that we have an award for young innovators who are scientists who also are going to be presenting scientific abstracts for the conference. And I'm not saying whether in many of these presentations for the scientific committee, a mention of where a young person, a young scientist is also, making a case for, so it being suggested for any of the presentations. I don't know what we can do to also give a young person a spot so that it's not looking like just they are unawarded for what. Let's see what they are doing and what they can present. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. We'll look in the program and see if there's anything specific for young people, including young people in terms of research. But still, you are avoiding this issue of domestic resource mobilization. Let's put it down somewhere. We actually agreed that let's remove one topic and put domestic resource mobilization. And yes. Yes. Yes, Professor Luo, is it?
It was me first.
Yes.
No, it's for you.
There it is. Hey, you've got yeah.
Thank you very much, Chair. We hear you, and I think we have an opportunity because the fourth topic, if you can bring the fourth topic. The fourth topic, our presenter, the fourth. Yeah, that one, the 10-10-10 societal enabler targets, the need for political leadership. We had no time to debate it because we said that topic, in fact, fits with the leadership people because we are science. So we can actually use that number 4 to talk about financing because we banked it. And that, I think we hear you, and it's an important topic, how we now start looking at financing for science, innovation, and AIDS research. If that comforts you, Mr. Speaker, and Mr. Chair.
It comforts you too, but
Parliament.
I think let's then put domestic resource mobilization and then just like we did with the first group, domestic resource mobilization, then you put your 10-10-10, whatever those 10-10-10, but at least we're addressing that. You're going to change it? You're going to change it completely? Right. Yes, yes.
Please, c'est vrai qu'on veut domestique, mais là, le sujet dont on parle, c'est purement scientifique. Est-ce que le financement domestique, on en a parlé sur les 3 autres groupes, est-ce que sur ce volet scientifique, il y a vraiment une place de bien développer tout ce qui est financement domestique dans un domaine scientifique, comparé au thème qu'on veut enlever qui parle de stigmatisation et tout qui est important pour nous? Moi, c'est mon avis. Je ne pense pas que sur le volet scientifique, on va vraiment chercher à mettre un thème sur le financement domestique. Merci.
Okay, so the scientists they think that they don't want to be financed, but yeah, I thought you could put domestic resource mobilization even for research, scientific research. I think we must have that topic there. I know the scientists think, it's not for us, but you need to be financed. And we want you to also think how they're going to be financed. Yes, Rafael. Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much. I think for me, one of the things that I did not see come out in that in the sessions that you are proposing is the issue around local manufacturing. It's scientific, right? We are doing things. It's a promise that Africa has been making with nowhere to go. So I would have loved to see local manufacturing. I also, maybe I've missed it in the language. There's no topic around financing of where we are now. We can see people are only doing life-saving life-saving medications, which is ARVs, malaria nets, and financing for that. But nowhere are we talking about tying in with what the president is saying, talking about financing of research or financing for HIV prevention. And that can be very detrimental for the field.
No, just to say that scientific is linked with programmatic. And I think scientific should highlight efficiencies, integrations, and also highlight implementation of high impact interventions. I think we are lacking behind in PrEP, in HIV self-testing, etc., etc. And scientific should highlight this. We should be more efficient. We should be more implementing high impact intervention to achieve our impact on the ground. I think this is, I agree with you that financing and scientific is not very linked, but scientific and programmatic are linked, and we have to highlight this main topics.
Generous, and so since you are going back to review, you may think more favorably about funding or funding for research and put all the other issues in terms of domestic finance under that. So when you go back for review, just look at that again. I think we'll be more amenable to that. Okay, any other comments? Yes, Dr. Nyarad.
Perhaps to, I don't know what's giving feedback here. Perhaps to respond to you, Yvette, the very first speaker here, she's talking about capacity building in Africa, where we want Africans to start manufacturing the diagnostics, the active pharmaceutical ingredients, everything that comes with drugs and diagnostics. So I think we're on the right track there. So maybe when we come back, we are going to come back with the notes that we want the speakers to be alluding to. So I hope that addresses your concern. The second one I forgotten, I wasn't going to address it. Thank you.
Before you come, wants to.
Just I wanted to add one point also. We can add domestic financing of research in Africa. And this is, I think, is very important point. Because right now, many governments are not financing research in Africa, and we have to do that. I hope that you agree with me. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, Yvette, on the first topic on the leadership, I'm going into the other group on domestic resource mobilization. There's a lot there on LPP, local pharmaceutical production. Do you want to see it specifically, so in the science? I don't know, but just to let you know that if it is Pate who covers, whoever will cover in the leadership, the session on innovative funding mechanism, LPP, it's an important, strategy. I wasn't in the scientific group, Kando. Are we suggesting that behind the 10-10-10, there's no science, so behind that? I really don't know. There's science, so around the first 10, so it's about the country having would not discriminate around the second 10 about gender-based violence. There's evidence on the last 10. So I will say, unless I got you wrong, that there's no pure science behind the 10-10-10. I'm a little bit puzzled. And what Jerez was trying to say, as much as he understands what you want on what we want, so on funding for research, one of the major challenges we're really faced with, so if you go back to the 3 zeros, so that very well, the 0 new infections, AIDS-related death, an area where we're not making around stigma and discrimination. So what Jerez was trying to suggest was that it might be a mistake, so just for us to kick it out. That's what he said, although he understood, so the need for for funding domestic resources for research. He think that this group, so will be more impactful, so if we could address an important area, the 10-10-10. And if Professor Morinike was here, she's also brought in another target, 5-5-5, 95, 95, 95. But what about the other 5-5-5, so left behind, so somewhere? I will just summarize all this and then take it from there. Thank you.
Let's leave it to your scientific discussion, because as it is, we need to move with the times. I think our challenge now is the domestic resources. So it's a question of how gymnastic you are to include all those issues plus funding. Yeah. All those issues you mentioned are so important. I don't think we can cover everything, but certainly for now, it's very, very important that we focus on how we're going to fund ourselves in terms of sustainability. Yeah. Okay, any other issue? Any other on this topic so that we can move on? Chairman, do you want to summarize? Do you want to say anything? That side?
Oui, effectivement, on se rend compte que les discussions on doit encore continuer. Mais je pense que le plus important, c'est que nous soyons topiques, que nous soyons concentrés sur ce que l'on veut. Il y a des événements du moment, mais qu'est-ce que nous devons obtenir de la conférence sur le plan scientifique? Et je crois que c'est ça qui explique tout le débat que nous avons pour le moment. Donc, nous allons tenir compte de tout ce qui a été dit. Il faudra nous donner le temps de revoir ce qui a été dit, tous les commentaires, et je pense qu'on va faire la proposition au secrétariat. Merci.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Chairman. The two hands there, I hadn't seen those hands. Is there the corner there? Yes?
Yes.
The quick one?
Yeah, thank you so much. We were wondering why you are not seeing us, but thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm not sure whether it's addressed, but I think the conversation around antimicrobial resistance in the context of HIV and TB are issues we need to really also maybe think about how we bring them to the fore. And considering now AMR is a key agenda globally, I think it's very important that we see how probably it can be integrated in the conversations under scientific research. Thank you.
No, I think I take your point. Indeed, but let's recognize that some of these topics we can put them in the parallel sessions so that as you know, plenary is really meant to be topical to address leadership and so on and so forth. So a lot of these issues, perhaps we can bring them in the parallel sessions, but we take note of what you have just pointed out. I notice, Leo, you look, the way your stance is to say.
No, I mean, you're reading my body language is not good. Look,
right.
Look, sure. I mean, I agree on the AMR, so Nigeria will be hosting the next ministerial conference on AMR in 2026. Look, Prof, maybe you guys could do a symposium on AMR or whatever it is of a pre-conference session on that. Yes, AMR is extremely important for the three diseases, ATM, so and be.
Thank you, Chair of Scientific Committee. It's very topical, but please go back and come back more. We spoke that there are people who have been nicely groomed and have attractive and loyal to Society for AIDS in Africa as part of our staff. And I think it's good that we recognize them. Look, I think we need to recognize them. Yes. Do you want us to, can you lead this discussion I think it's an important discussion. You see, what we do at years with us, we recognize them. Recognition for that longevity. If they have spent 10 years, we recognize them even further, and we actually do it. Today, we are recognizing 4 for our employees who have been with us for a long time, a minimum of 6 years. So I'm going to ask the chairperson of the scientific program, Professor Kapend, and the chairperson of the leadership program, Dr. Joe Badaye, and also the chairperson of the community program, Yvette Raphael, to come forward here, please, very quickly, so that we do it quickly. And also, I'm going to ask the Ghana AIDS Commission Director General, who is with us, to join that side. You just are going to present some. Oh, yeah. So look, can we start with our host, the Ghana AIDS Commission Director General, to present? I think it's appropriate. Can you lead that part, Luke? Can you go to the mic?
Okay, sir. I believe that is an opportunity for Society for AIDS in Africa and Icasa as well to recognize our staff. They have been with us for long, more than 7 years, and we believe that taking this to recognize them is appropriate. Mr. Chair?
Yes, continue.
The second one is Mr. Leslie Sojino. He is our logistic officer. Hello, Leslie, are you here?
Logistic officer.
We call the chair of the leadership committee.
And she has been with us for 7 years.
I've been with us for 7 years. The third one is our junior driver, Mr. Augustine Vasco Nyakro. Has been with us since more than 7 years.
7 years, 2 months to be precise.
Yeah, 7 years, 2 months. He's a key person for SAR. Without him, we will not be here. I will call the chair of the executive committee to give this award to him. That's not the list because we are coming back with the first one. But let me call Emmanuel Tete Kwadji. This is one of our IT gurus in the house. Emmanuel, are you there? For now, I'm sorry, the word is here. We are not gender biased, but it's happening that now we don't have lady. Maybe next time we have a lady. I will call the chair of the community program to hand it over to Mr. Emmanuel Tete Kwadji. Thank you, Mr. President, for giving us this opportunity to recognize our staff. I believe that we call again the Ghana AIDS Commission when Mr. Derek Tete will be back from duty. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Luke. And let me thank the chairs and also our Director General for the Ghana AIDS Commission for giving those awards. At this juncture, according to our agenda, you need to go back and review what we have already discussed. If you notice at 11 o'clock, we did presentations of plenary speakers. Now we want a review of concurrent sessions.
Yeah.
Okay, if you, all groups seem not to have their parallel or concurrent sessions yet. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So can we break into those groups and then you validate your concurrent sessions and then come back and report?
Good afternoon, media. You are welcome to the second International Steering Committee meeting organized by SAR in the build-up to Icasa. On the high table is Honorable Dr. David Agasese. He's the president of the Society for AIDS in Africa. Vice President, Professor Mohamed Shakron. Mr. Aman Bodia is the Icasa director and coordinator for SAR. And then Dr. Kamasel Prosper Akambon is the Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission. You are very welcome, sis. So I'll hand over to the President for a few remarks before the questions.
Thank you very much, Loretta. A good opportunity for us, Society for AIDS in Africa, the custodians of Icasa, which is the largest conference or gathering of people who fight HIV within the Africa region. And we don't just fight HIV as an organization, but we also address TB, malaria, and other infectious diseases. So this particular meeting, the second International Steering Committee meeting, is really in preparation for the Icasa meeting that is going to happen here in Accra, 2025 December. And we are delighted that the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Mahama, President Mahama has been able to accommodate and to facilitate that we have a meeting like this in this country as we look forward to December 2025. So this steering committee is essentially a preparation for that big meeting where we're expecting upward of 12,000 people to be coming to our conference here in Accra, Ghana. And I think that at this juncture, just those remarks will say to you that we want to fight HIV in the most rigorous way. And as we do so, we look at various issues of prevention. We look at the issues of financing the fight against HIV and AIDS. We look at the sustainability of that fight within the African context, by Africans, for Africa. I think we should now begin to say to ourselves, we do not hope that donor funding will sustain us, as you have seen with what President Trump has done for the fight against HIV in the world. Yeah, those are the few remarks for now.
Thank you very much, sir. So at this time, you can ask your questions. You mention your media house and then you ask a question. Okay, so before the questions, we'd like the Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission to give a response, a few remarks.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you, Mr. Vice President, local SAR Secretariat. Thank you for the opportunity. As the president said, Icasa is the biggest conference with respect to HIV response in Africa, one of the biggest conferences of HIV responses in the world. Ghana, for the first time, is hosting Icasa, and it's a privilege for the country Ghana. And as the local organizing committee, Ghana AIDS Commission, together with the Minister of Health, we are the secretariat, the local secretariat for the Icasa, and responsible for the whole local programming. This agreement to host Icasa comes with a responsibility to the country. And Ghana has some obligations under this ability to host the Icasa to provide scholarship for about 500 Ghanaian young health workers and students to be able to attend the conference. We are also committed to providing the area for the conference, the International Conference Center, and other obligations for which a local secretariat is working to organize. Let me say that it's an opportunity for Ghana to showcase itself in our response to HIV in HIV and AIDS. That whatever we're doing here, we get opportunity to showcase it. It's also opportunity for people to come to Ghana to know what is happening in Ghana, a boost of tourism, a boost of knowledge, and to support the local knowledge base on HIV response. This conference would go a long way to transform the Ghanaian economy, put Ghana on the map of HIV response. Let's also agree that this conference coming to Ghana for the first time gives us the opportunity to showcase our hospitality, how we host people and how people would see Ghana as a second home to come. So for Ghana as a hosting country, it's a big advantage for us. And we are so grateful that we have won the bid to host Icasa for 2025. So as media men, we encourage you to bring this information to the general public too, that Ghana is the host for Icasa 2025. It's a big conference on HIV/AIDS, and that the media and local people should also patronize this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So who would like to ask a question?
Hello, please, I'm Jennifer August and I'm with Joy News. I want to know, since the US has cut its funds on HIV support to Africa, I want to know the plans the African continent has for itself in solving the HIV and STIs issues in Africa.
Should we take some more or any other question? Mention your media now.
Yes, my name is Mohammed, my Joe Online. I just want to know how the organization is ensuring that conference outcomes are going to influence actual policies across the African continent.
I'll come and do it. Will you do that? Please, are you taking the question?
So please, who is answering these questions, the two questions? Okay.
Let me take the African response to that, and I'll speak specifically more about Ghana's response. Following the declaration that the US response or support for HIV interventions may be halted, the Ghana AIDS Commission, together with the Minister of Health, had an emergency meeting with the President of the Republic of Ghana, and the President immediately directed the Minister for Finance to make available substantial funding to take care of the funding gaps that is supposed to have come from the US government, for which the Minister of Finance has appropriately allocated funds in the recent budget that has been read, going through appropriation right now. But on the African scale, there have been discussions of sustainability, and that's even the main topic for this Icasa conference, how we go around sustainability. Apparently, the conference had preempted the situation where one day we'll not be getting funding. And therefore, we started talking about how we build sustainability and resilience measures. So there has been a roadmap for sustainability development that is led by most of the African AIDS commissions and leaders. And that discussion has gone through various frameworks. But of course, with the recent cut of the likely cut of the US funding to most of African countries, there's a need to accelerate this framework development and build resilience mechanisms and put investment cases in the various countries where sustainability can be maintained. At this point, I'll let the President take up the rest of the responses.
Thank you. The question about what the United States government has done, how it impacts on us, and what we are going to do about it. I think it's a very important question. And it is true that Dr. Akampong, what he has said, that African governments should now take ownership of managing HIV, TB, and malaria in their own countries. Yes, we've been dependent on donor funding. Some countries, to the extent of 80% of their programs being donor funded. And clearly that has always been a security risk for those countries. Now it is a wake-up call for Africa, and indeed for the rest of the third world, that you cannot depend sustainably on donor funding. And we here at Society for AIDS in Africa, we are providing a platform to articulate views within the Africa region, across African governments, through sometimes the AU, through the various ministers of health and ministers of finance. We provide platform to be able to exchange views on how Africa should respond to this particular risk. Essentially, the risk is that we may go back to what we were seeing in the 1990s, where HIV shoots up again as an infection. And we should be able to take cognizance of the fact that let's put our monies as African governments. We cannot continue literally to cry about American aid. We have to stand on our own now, look internally, look at domestic funding, how we can mobilize our own resources from oil to gold to platinum, whatever we have within the Africa region, and be able to prioritize health for our own people. So I think that is the way we should be going. And this particular conference, we've dedicated at least a third of this program to discussing the issue of sustainable domestic resource mobilization. The second question you ask is, how does this particular conference influence what happens in fighting against HIV in the African continent? Well, what we do, Ghana is the host, and we make sure that the president of Icasa has a vice president of the host country that already tries to mobilize what Ghana can do in terms of HIV in this country. But remember, we invite people and players from across Africa, our scientists, our leaders, the communities that are affected by HIV and AIDS, the communities, including what we call key populations, they are all represented here. They are here, and they go back to their communities, to their constituencies, and pass the messages back to them as to what has been happening. We also invite the UN bodies. The UN agencies are here. They are part and parcel of the fight against HIV and AIDS. And they take stock and are able to give us technical advice, but at the same time, they also spread that message on how to fight HIV and AIDS on the continent. So essentially, this conference, because you are going to have so many people, like I said, we are expecting Ghana here, at least 12,000 people to come, including a strong local contingent. That means all those people will go back to their communities and talk about HIV and AIDS, TB and malaria and other infectious diseases. So yes, this conference is very powerful. It is based on science, it is based on communities, and it's based on leadership. To grow the leadership, to grow communities, awareness, and of course, like I say, to also to influence leaders on how to fight HIV and AIDS. You may want to add a few, yes, VP, you may want to add so that we strengthen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President of SA, Mr. Director of National AIDS Council and Committees, and Mr. Director of SA. I think we are all happy to come back to Accra for the second International Steering Committee to prepare Icasa 2025. Our main objective is to complete the work what we have already started and initiated during the first International Steering Committee across the three committees programs, scientific, leadership, and communities program, as well as for driven session, special session, and workshop. I think we made a good progress during this meeting, and we wanted to thank the national AIDS committee teams and national teams of Ghana, the Secretariat of SAA for the huge effort made. I want also to thank President of SAA for the great leadership, and also the board members and the participants to this international steering committees for their commitment. What I want to say is this Icasa is coming in a very different context from Icasa 2023. The context is very challenging now, and the most important point to be reflected in Icasa 2025 is the tough times we are experiencing with the financing of the financing issue of the global health. After freezing of US external assistance. And Icasa 2025 will be a good opportunities to highlight the urgent need to increase domestic funding, also to discuss domestic solution for the three diseases. And I think we need also to discuss during this Icasa in parallel of emergent diseases, HIV, TB, and malaria response. We have to highlight this. We have also to highlight the need of urgent domestic funding for research in Africa. This is a very essential. This is crucial for the progress and should be one of key topics during this conference. Thanks again for Ghana for accepting to host this conference, Icasa 2025, and very appreciate the welcome and hospitality of Ghana. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to inform the journalists that they are the voice of Icasa. As the media in Ghana, you are the voice of Icasa. Yeah. The media are the voice of Icasa. Everything that we are doing here, if you don't communicate on it outside, people of Ghana will not know how to benefit from this conference. Let me inform you that, as my president has said, we are expecting 12,000 people. But the 12,000 people, we have inside the Icasa program, a special program called Community Village. And this Community Village is free for all the participants. It's for people from Ghana, the masses, to come at Icasa, to learn and to exchange knowledge with their peers. It's very, very important that the community should know that Icasa is not only for the paid people, but it's for everyone. The second aspect is also important that you as a journalist from the media, you should know that it's free of charge for every journalist to attend Icasa. You just need to register and to show your membership card as a journalist, then you are free to attend the conference. Let me inform you that today we are hosting the second committee meeting, as you have witnesses. Here we have more than 32 countries coming for this planning meeting. At the same time, we have 150 people attending this planning meeting, just planning meeting, 32 countries. Imagine, Icasa draw at least 120 countries across the globe. It's important that we should take stock of that and we should leverage on that so that every issue that we have in our community in Ghana here, we should table it in Icasa platform. Also, let me inform you that it's the second time since 2017 that Icasa will come to West Africa. It means that Ghana is hosting the whole West Africa response, plus the other 4 regions from Africa. Please, let us make sure that will make Icasa success, but it starts from you, media, by your communication. Don't forget that the theme of this conference this year is catalyzing integrated sustainable responses to end AIDS, TB, and malaria. For you to carry the teams, to inform the public, so that we have both leadership, community-based organization, and also scientific people attending Icasa. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any other questions? Yes.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Kweku Bolton from GBC. Yeah, we realize you form a group. Could you share the outcome of their discussion? Additionally, what are the current statistics of HIV and AIDS in Africa, particularly in Ghana here? Thank you.
So let me just go straight to Ghana statistics, and then the other questions, the president will take those questions about the group discussions. In Ghana, the national prevalence is put at 1.66%. And if you take a population of 33 million people, we are talking of over 550 people likely to have HIV/AIDS. But in a database, what we have as people diagnosed with AIDS is about 350,000. So there's still a gap of undiagnosed people. The 1.66 is the national averages, but various regions have their specific averages, with the Half region having the highest average of almost 2.7%. The lowest being the Upper West region of 0.7%. But if you take the statistics across the country, it's about 1.66%. Let me say that Ghana's prevalence has for a very long time remained under 2%. But that's not to make us complacent in our response. We still have a lot of work to do in respect to prevention issues, stigma issues, human rights issues, and then access to treatment. Yes, we are yet to bring out the national statistics for 2024. Yesterday, I was in Kofidia for the statistics assessment, and hopefully within a month or so, after all the necessary validation processes, the new statistics will come out. But still, we are still below 2%. We are doing quite well, about 1.66% in prevalence. That is it in Ghana right now.
Just to add that with prevalence rate of 1.66%, which really means that the number of people as a percentage compared to the population, the number of people who are infected and living with HIV, what is the percentage? And in Ghana here, we're being told it's 1.6%. Other countries, it's as high as 17%, 11%, with sometimes with populations bigger than what we have here in Ghana. But importantly, because ARVs are available, antiretroviral drugs are available, the prevalence rates will not go very much lower because people are now living with HIV and are on treatment. They are not necessarily dying. So that prevalence is going to drop, but not very much because people, like I told you, it's the number of people who are actually living with HIV. In the past, people were actually dying. Now people are living with HIV because they are on ARVs. But with what Trump has done and the American government has done, if we then run out of ARVs, then the infection rates will go up, especially among the youths. Those are the most vulnerable groups. So that's why our strategies of prevention is a number one strategy, prevention is a number two strategy, prevention is a number three strategy. We should go back to that and be able to sustain prevention methodologies so that our people can live longer. And we should be able to clamor for ARVs within our own regions. We should be able now to manufacture ARVs within the Africa region. We should be able to pour money into manufacturing outfits within our own African regions. Why should we wait for other countries and other nationalities to come and treat our own people? It's really our duty to do that. But I wanted Luke to just say something regarding
the groups, what has happened here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The outcome of the group, we cannot talk about it now because you can see they are still finalizing. Thank you, Mr. President. The outcome of the group, let me explain to you the group first of all. Icasa is a 3-in-1 business. How 3-in-1? We have the leadership committee, we have the scientific committee, and we have the community committee program going on. And you can see that we have 3 groups there. And those 3 groups reflect the various committees. In my left, we have the scientific group working hard there. And back of you, you have the community program work. And my right, you have the leadership program working. They are finalizing what we call the parallel session thematics. At Icasa, we have 5 days from 3rd to 8th of December 2025. And those 5 days, we have 5 meeting rooms working consecutively every minute. It means that we have more than 560 sessions at Icasa. Those are the sessions that they are working on. They are selecting thematics that will address the health issue in Africa, that will address the HIV status in Africa, that will address the domestic financing in our continent. Every threat related to health will be addressed during this conference. This is what they are doing. And we believe that tomorrow we'll be able to come out with the various thematics that have been selected for this conference. But don't forget that they don't stay and select thematics here. We sent out the call for proposal for various thematics from the plenary to the concurrent session, to the workshop, to the general public across the continent. And people send their proposal. And the committee here, they meet together to finalize the proposal and to select the best for the conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Next question.
Okay, my name is Asinam with The Spectator. I want to find out the progress Icasa have made so far and the challenges it has also encountered and how it has been able to address it. Thank you.
Yeah, very important question from this. Is it Spectator, I said? Yeah, very important question. You know, Icasa was started as far back as 1989. And we hold these conferences every 2 years in various capitals and various countries. And each time we hold such a conference, the head of state of that country does the opening. Invariably, it's always been the head of state all along. And that alone shows the political commitment of political leadership. Once they come, the head of state here, President Mahama, will come here to open. And that alone sends a signal of its own magnitude. That is impact, that's impactful. That's political leadership. And that's one of the things that we address. The last meeting, Icasa was held in Zimbabwe. The head of state there, 2023, came and officially opened that meeting. And the vice president came and closed that meeting. And already in Zimbabwe, that makes a big impact and within the region. And what we also do sometimes is to make sure that President Mahama, for an example, if he's able to invite some of his colleague presidents within the region to come and attend at least the opening, again, that makes big impact. And in Zimbabwe, we had 3 heads of state come. The previous year, there were about 4. So it's very impactful when you do that one. And you see the progress that it makes is that you then question your own programs within countries. For an example, here in Ghana, we will interrogate what the National AIDS Council here is doing because they will be saying, this is what we've done, this is what we've done, and this goes to populations, and we learn from what they've done. So again, that's very impactful. We also have looked at COVID. We were when COVID was at its peak, Icasa was involved in South Africa. We had a virtual meeting in South Africa because of COVID, but it was still a very strong meeting. So we addressed HIV, TB, malaria, and other infectious diseases, which included COVID-19. So again, it was very impactful in South Africa. In South Africa, the vice president is the one who came to address us, but it was a virtual meeting, but very, very successful. In fact, it was a hybrid meeting. A few people were present, but the rest was virtual. So they are very impactful meetings. And of course, it's not just within Africa that we get our people from. It's actually globally. A lot of the speakers will just pick speakers from anywhere in the world to come and address our pertinent issues, including scientific issues. So we have various professors, academia coming in to address our people here. And that again goes a long way. The abstracts, we have put up a program where our youths in the region are trained on abstract writing, how you write a scientific abstract for reading. And that has really gone a long way to mobilize the youth. That's an impact that we feel ourselves has happened. And on top of that, the key populations, because of the community, what we say the community that Lucas talked about, they come here and they're very active in articulating pertinent issues that will be occurring in their communities at that particular time. They will interrogate the legal aspects of issues. They will interrogate how some of the stigmas that are attached to HIV. And again, that's very, very impactful. So yes, progress has been made. A lot of progress continues to be made. And I think we should sustain that progress. And Ghana, to us, Ghana is a big, good platform. It is a very welcoming country. It's a very friendly country. We find the Ghanaians are people who, I think you are used to visit us, you are used to us. So I think that goes a long way for some of us to be happy to have Icasa in Ghana and enjoy Ghana at the same time talking about HIV and AIDS. Don't you think you want to finish now?
Thank you very much, President. I would like to add also that Icasa was a great opportunity for communities to share their concern and to discuss on many topics. And Icasa also, I think with Icasa, we had some decrease in the stigma, discrimination, and other issues that communities may face. Progress made also in Icasa in programmatic level. I think many countries Icasa contributed in the update of guidelines of many countries, also in increasing coverage of treatment in Africa. And I would like to give you a simple example of what will be the impact of freezing of external aid on treatment. Treatment now is based on antiretrovirals, and antiretrovirals are medicines against HIV, are available across Africa, and available and effective also as treatment, but also as prevention. And the impact of stopping treatment will be very important on own health of people living with HIV, but also on prevention. Why? Because people living with HIV who are on treatment and they are virally suppressed, that means they stop the replication of the virus. They will not transmit the virus sexually to their partners. If they stop the treatment, the virus will replicate and the virus will be resistant. Some drug resistance mutation may appear. So they can transmit HIV resistance virus were their partners. So what we can say in case of stopping the treatment is emergence of new HIV epidemic, but epidemic with HIV drug resistance. And this is very important. And the vulnerable population, especially young people, will be affected and infected with a new virus, but resistance, and we will have a big issue with treatment. So this is one example of the impact of freezing AIDS and also stopping antiretroviral in people living with HIV. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if you allow me, let me inform you that 2025 is true that is Icasa year in Ghana. At the same time is the 35th anniversary of Society for AIDS in Africa. And for that, Society for AIDS in Africa is launching a competition. We call it Icasa Storytelling Video Competition for the 35th anniversary celebration of Society for AIDS in Africa. I'm giving you that news because we are launching it with you today. From today, the launch will be on our website. We are calling all the people across the continent, Africans, both in the continent and at the diaspora, to send people living with HIV, to send their best story video, 4-minute video storytelling. We categorize them in two. The first group is the age of 18 to 35 years old. The best story video, I think, will be awarded of $3,000. And the second best for this category thank you, sir. I was saying that I was launching today. We are launching today the Icasa Storytelling Video Competition to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Society for AIDS in Africa. For that, I will not talk about the background. Go to ICSA website and Icasa website. You see the background and the criteria. But we are calling all people living with HIV across the continent, both African and from the diaspora, to compete for this. The first category of this storytelling is the bracket age of 18 to 35 years old. They should send their story maximum 4 minutes. And if they are selected, the best prize will be $3,000. And the second prize for that category will be $2,000. USD, yeah, $2,000, yes. And the second category for this storytelling to celebrate our 35th anniversary is category B, 36 years old and above. For that one, the first category or the best story will also be awarded of $3,000 US dollars, and the second best story will also be awarded of $2,000 USD. The deadline, I will not say it here, go to their website. I want you guys to go to the website to get the information, right? However, it is being launched today. And I'm sure that the submission window, let me give you the information as we are here, but for criteria site, the submission window will be 29 March 2025 to 31st July 2025. Please, for more information, go to our website. Let me say that don't be surprised that the award winner for this logo, for Icasa, the logo that you are seeing there, came from Nigeria. Yeah, it's not Ghana. This logo, Icasa logo, the day we were 35 edition, 23rd edition, the day we were selecting this logo, people from Ghana was taking that this logo is from Ghana. But they were shocked because the winner came from Nigeria. Just to tell you that the storytelling that we are launching today, the best we win, not necessarily Ghanaian, but the best in Africa. Thank you so much.
I'm told that the Nigerian who is supposed to have won is actually a Ghanaian living in Nigeria. Anyway, any other? Loretta? There you are.
Any other questions? I think we are done. Okay. Thank you very much, sirs, for this very educative session. We are very, very grateful. And the press, please make it a point to publicize all that you've heard. Thank you very much. We are grateful.
Yeah, now let's resume our normal meeting, which was interrupted in a constructive way by the media. So you find your outside. So can we now come back to have reports, our reports from the concurrent sessions of the groups that were here? Can we come and start? So as we settle, we are going to be listening to Dr. Apang Pong, who is going to give us a presentation of the scholarships criteria. And then you can this is very important for scholarships that are going to be awarded to Ghanaians to come and attend Icasa. Yeah, mostly. Yeah. Okay. So, Director General, are you ready?
Thank you, Mr. President. The scholarship criteria for the 2025 Icasa conference is going to be like this. The aim of the scholarship program is to make sure that we have as many delegates attending the conference as much as possible. And I want to give preference to those individuals who make significant contribution to the African AIDS response. The Icasa 2025 scholarship program is open to everyone working or volunteering the HIV/AIDS field in any country. Submissions should be made online. French and English instructions are available on the website. Our important policy is that if you register as a paying participant and apply for scholarship simultaneously, your scholarships application will automatically be disqualified. So what are the types of scholarships that are available for this conference? We have full scholarships where air travel, accommodation, and per diems are paid. The second category of scholarships are partial scholarships where accommodation and registration or accommodation only or registration only is provided. The third category is full virtual scholarship, registration fee waived for full virtual participation. Of course, we can't pay for your data to watch that program. The scholarship categories that we have the abstract presenters. The second category is the workshop facilitators and program activity organizers involved in community village, youth, and women programs. Media representatives, I think Luke Bode just spoke about that to the media, and the general delegates, those contributing through attendance. The leadership program committee will decide who receives a scholarship based on the selection of their workshop submissions. 4, the program activity organizer. The community program committee will decide who receives a scholarship based on the selection of their community program activity submitted. Now for the media. Next slide, please. The Communications or Promotions Committee will decide who receives a media scholarship. Each applicant must, 1A, provide proof of reportage on HIV/AIDS related stories by submitting 3 copies of printed by aligned activities or 3 broadcast synopsis. Submit an accompanying letter from editors stating support of application and agreement to the journalist travel and inclusion in official Icasa 2025 training programs. C, provide copies of press credentials. And D, letter verifying your assignment to cover the Icasa 2025 conference. General delegates contributing through attendance. PLHIV and community organizers, political, religious, and civil society organizers and leaders will be considered. Community, that is from a PLHIV network, NGO, grassroots, community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, charitable foundations will also be considered. Young people representatives, 18 to 26 years in that age category. And women representatives will also be considered for delegates scholarships. Postdoctoral medical or social science students who have not submitted any abstract may also be considered for the general delegates scholarships. Healthcare workers other than physicians, and especially those working in the peripheries, will be given some special attention. Persons with disability and key affected populations. The distribution of the scholarship allotment is like this. The abstract presenters, we have 30 by percentage, 30%, and the workshop facilitators 10%, program activities organizers 20%, general delegates 35%, media representatives 5%, coming up to 100%. Rationale for the scholarship allocation. Rationale, the first rationale, is to leverage the attendance of delegates who contribute to the conference program and delegates who contribute through attendance internationally, regionally, and locally. Rationale B is that figures are based on the number of scholarships applications received historically. And in addition, the geographic proximity to the Icasa 2025 host country, that's proximity to Ghana, has been taken into consideration, thereby leveraging proportional attendance of delegates from the various regions. Special preferences is also given to university students, people living with HIV/AIDS, women, young people, ages between 18 and 25. I've already spoken about that. The geographical distributions of the 5 regions of Africa under considerations are the Southern African region, the Eastern African region, West Africa, Central and Northern Africa. Ghana has been granted 500 scholarship positions with rebated fees, and the host country is supposed to make payment for those 500 delegates. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's clear, but there may be questions, comments. Yes, yes. Oh, I thought, Gordon, you're putting up your hand. Yes.
Merci beaucoup. Merci. Je crois que c'est assez clair. Par contre, j'avais quelques soucis quand j'ai essayé de voir un peu la classification régionale. Et même, je suis allé voir la version anglaise. Alors, si vous regardez attentivement, vous n'avez pas les mêmes pays, vous ne m'entendez pas. Vous m'entendez bien ou pas? Alors, vous n'avez pas les mêmes pays dans les 2 documents. Et cela peut rendre les choses confuses. Je donne un exemple simple. Dans la version française, à la page 64, vous avez les pays. En Afrique du Nord, vous avez la Mauritanie. Mais quand vous allez à la version anglaise, à la page 59, pour l'Afrique du Nord, il n'y a plus la Mauritanie et on retrouve la Mauritanie à l'Afrique de l'Ouest. Je crois qu'il faut équilibrer tout ça pour éviter les confusions. Également, pour la version française, ce serait mieux de mettre pour la région Afrique australe, hein, au lieu de mettre Afrique du Sud. Hein, parce que tout ça, c'est des éléments qui peuvent rendre les choses confuses. Maintenant, une question, elle peut être très, très politique. On ne retrouve pas le Maroc et on retrouve la République sahraoui arabe démocratique. Je laisse 3 points de suspension.
Okay, if Director General just allow.
I got the rest of the statements. They maybe look and respond to that.
Thank you, Chair. Let me apologize for that. I believe that is a mistake that we correct. We take note of that. Thank you.
Innocent, is that okay with you? Right. Any other questions? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to call our attention to the fact that with the expanded scope of the Society for AIDS in Africa to include TB and malaria, this should also be considered in the criteria that is required from the journalists, so that the requirement is not just limited to those who have reported on HIV/AIDS, but also can include those who have reported on TB and malaria. And this is also, if you take note of this, in all other areas where we have specifically and required HIV/AIDS, because we also have people living with TB and other things who will also apply for scholarship. They should also be given the same status as people living with HIV. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe that this is a good remark, and we are taking note of that. However, we have all these groups in a general delegate, but we need to strengthen again so that we not put specifically people living with HIV. Thank you.
So you're going to include everybody?
Yeah.
I think it was an important point because it is true we're covering TB, malaria, and other infectious diseases. So we should not just confine ourselves to HIV. Okay. Any other comments? Shall I thank the DG for his presentation? And I want to thank the Society for AIDS in Africa. If you find an organization offering scholarships, then it's a good organization. I think we want to thank you for that. Okay, we now are going into our last session. It's already just past 5. So now the last session is going to be a quick one, but an important one, where the groups are going to give us reports of what they have put down. So I will start with the scientific. Your report. The scientific committee. The rapporteur.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Je disais que le travail a avancé. Nous avons donc pu mettre en place les différents sujets pour les différentes sessions concurrentes. Et le résumé nous sera présenté par notre rapporteur habituel.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. the President of Scientific Committee. I would like to present you 5 non-observed sessions, the 5 social sessions, and then the 3 workshops. So let's start by the non-observed session. The first will be molecular characterization. Okay. No, I need to be re-energizing. Okay, so I need to be re-energized. Okay, molecular characterization of emerging and re-emerging infection. The speakers We have three speakers. The first will be on SARS-CoV-2, coming from Zimbabwe, from Botswana, sorry. The second will talk on Mpox, coming from Nigeria. I put Tope in bracket because he's the one that proposed our colleague from Nigeria, so that he'll be able to provide all the contact of this expert. And also, and the first speaker will be on Ebola, JJ Muyembe. And then the point person will be Prof. William Ampofo. Now, the next, epidemiological profile on SCI in Africa. We'll be talking for the first speaker will talk on SCI and key population, Prof. Aga Mpo from DRC. The second, trip elimination of HIV, syphilis, hepatitis B virus. Yes, from Didier Okovi, Togo, or Evie Kasiri from WHO, Uganda. And the third will be on HPV and HIV. And here we propose Professor Mike Chirenji from Zimbabwe. The point person will be Professor Avle Agoken from Congo, Brazzaville. The third non-abstract driving session will be prep for HIV. The first presentation will be on prep modalities by Sinead Delany from South Africa. The second will be on multi-purpose by Prof. Ngodi. And then the last presentation and third presentation will be on prep in pregnancy and breastfeeding. And we propose Friday Saidi from Malawi. The first person will be Professor Ngodi. The fourth non-abstract session will be managing tuberculosis in children and adolescents. And then we have three speakers. The first will come from Benin, Professor Banya. The second from Emile Anthony from Ghana. And then the third from Angela Mushavi from Zimbabwe. And then the point person, we choose two persons, namely Professor Topi and then Professor Ngodi. Now, the last non-abstract driven session, it will be on HIV drug resistance. We have three speakers. The first, coming from Cameroon, Joseph Fokam, will talk about HIV drug resistance and PrEP. The second will come from Mali, Professor Amusafa Maiga. He'll be talking on primary resistance in the era of new generation drugs. And then the third will talk on acquired drug resistance, and it will be made by Professor Avle Aroken from Congo, Brazzaville. And then the point person is our friend, Professor Agoken Avle. So let's move on the social session. The first will be on HIV and aging.
Sorry. Hello. Can we perhaps comment on the first lot before you go to the special sessions? Is there any comments on the?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so that we don't forget before we go to the special session. Can you put back the one before? Yeah. Can you put NADS 3? I was just concerned that you've got those very high-powered people talking only on PrEP. Why don't you expand it to prevention for HIV, and then you have all those speakers, even if they then talk about PrEP? But I think you must address prevention as a whole. But PrEP for all those high-powered professors. I just wondered about that, but you are the scientists, perhaps you know better. Yeah, you want to respond to that?
Hello? Yeah. Thank you, President. But we also realize that we have only 10 minutes to speak. So when you make the topic very broad, then there's very little time to say, to cover the whole topic because you have 10 minutes to speak. The three speakers, that's 30 minutes, and then there's another 10 minutes for questions and answers. So that is why it's so precise, so that we can get as much as we want from it.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
thought it was 15 minutes, but if that's your argument, I won't argue. I just thought prep for those three high-powered people, just prep. Dr. Mgodi, why do you want to, all of you? Huh?
So thank you. So this session is still in development. We, like what Margaret says, we talked about it quite a lot. So I think I'm happy with us titling this HIV prevention, a focus on pre-exposure prophylaxis. So we can broaden it up a bit and then to include both your comments. So I'm happy to broaden it.
I think with that satisfactory response, we can go to the next. Yes, at the end.
Sorry, thank you very much. I think we can just categorize everything under the new prevention technologies, where we can cover the entire things, look at the vaccines that have been what's that vaccine trials, the trials, look at the PrEP, look at PEP at the same time. If we look at PrEP in a session, we should also look at what is post-exposure prophylaxis at this type of session. So we can just spread the topics under new prevention technologies, emerging issues. Thank you.
Yes. I'm being advised, let's cut it because time is not there. But is that Dr. Luo?
Chair, I think that the argument of time is very important. And there's no point in loading a topic and then you don't get the benefit of it. But this steering committee can empower for us to add time and reduce speakers. Then you can have all those, the shopping list we are talking about. But if the time is what we have here, I think let's leave it as it is so that we really get good benefit of the topic. Thank you.
Okay. The last contribution.
Thank you, Chair. This is just first a general comment. Of course, this is a first draft, but I was able to know that in 2 or 3 of the slides, we have the same name as speaker and as point person. So, and also I was able to know that I think in 2 slides, same names are repeated, like some names are repeated in one session and in other session. I'm thinking in the balance, in the of the African continent, and I know this is a first draft, but I was wondering if at some point the team can make an effort to try to put more balance try to identify some other experts of the region, in order speakers are not necessarily repeating. And if you are able to look in some of the slides, there are 1 or 2 countries that appear. So try to give also a country balance. I know that for some topics, maybe one country could be leading in the region in 2 topics, and that's why they were proposed. Or just that reflection on trying to add more balance to the presenters and balance to the countries in the program. I think that suggestion will apply for all the other sessions and for the other groups, but I'm just noting this here. I'm just a quick comment about this issue. I really understand your concern. Why not talking on prevention? And I really take note on the comment of the colleagues that also the time is not necessarily the friend when you have just a few minutes, but I think we need to remind that one of the big challenges and pending debts nowadays on prevention, not only in Africa, worldwide, is the scale up of PrEP. So when we look at the graphics of the way we have been scaling up PrEP, when we know that that is a very powerful prevention tool, I think that's like a really pending a topic to accelerate in all the regions. So I think that it makes sense to have a special session focused on PrEP because of this challenge. But just to comment, and I get both points, but I think it does not damage the program if we try to focus a little bit on PrEP, and especially because I think taking this special session on PrEP, we can provide also emphasis to the situation in key populations, which are one of the main beneficiaries in PrEP. So thank you, Chair.
Okay. Luke, you wanted to say something on this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What I want to remind us is that we should make sure that the speaker that we are proposing for parallel session, they will be around and they will come. You know, because sometimes you put some name there, and when we write to them, they will tell you, you know, I'm not available. And at the last minute, they will deny, they will not come. This is why when we have two names, we should not be too afraid. Right? When we have multiple names, we will not be too afraid because we are sure that at least those people will come. Because at the end of the day, if they don't come, you have empty session, which is not good. We lost the slot. Thank you.
Okay, can we proceed? The next, yes, the next part, special session 1.
Thank you very much for your comments on the third part of this presentation. But be sure that we also have this discussion in the group. How people will be available, and then how can we find another speakers if they are not available. So, and as the chief rapporteur of the conference, most of the time when people are missing the session, it's very sad. So let's continue. Special session number 1, HIV and aging. We have 3 speakers from Uganda, DRC, and Castelnuovo is from South Africa. Okay. And then the focal point is Prof. Capen Leven from DRC. Slide. The second will be on NCDs. We have 3 speakers. When we talk about NCD burden and HIV coming from Benin, Atisuro. The second will be on obesity and cardiometabolic condition coming from South Africa, Chandiwana, and HIV and integration coming from Kenya by Evelyn Ashono. The third person is Fred Nana Poku from Ghana. First research session, HIV cure agenda. We have 3 speakers. First from Ghana, George Kei. The second, South Africa, Tumbi Ndungu. And then the third presenter comes from Senegal, Alimatu Diop Ndiaye. And then here also the point person is Professor Amphofo William. Right. The fourth social session is gender-based violence, mental health, and substance abuse. We have 3 speakers. The first is Fidelia Ojo coming from DRC. The second, Eric Tengoran from Ghana. And then the third from Senegal, Fatoumata Anne from Ziguinchor University. And then here also, we believe that the focal point will be Anne from Senegal. The last social session is on transition of care and disclosure for children. We have three speakers, one coming from Uganda, Kitaka, the second from Ghana, Lona Reiner, and then the third from Zambia, Kankasa. The point person is from Benin, Professor Banyam. Okay, these are the 5 special sessions, and then we are waiting for your valuable comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments? I think this was very clear. I'm being advised no comments by force, but yeah, next one. I think people are running with time now.
The workshop. The first is one health concept from the organization coming from INRB, INRB, okay, from DRC, and also the backup. Also, we don't finish it because at the end we want to just find pre-workshop and then present it. So I believe that we have a short time of 30 minutes. We'll finish. The second, sexual and reproductive health for adolescents. We are focused on hope for future generation from Ghana. Okay. And then here we find also our point person is Cecilia Seno from Ghana. Last is tuberculosis laboratory. So I believe that under the leadership of our focal person, we find she will give us this the part of University of Ghana who will organize this workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the yes, Chairman, you want to comment?
Non, juste dire qu'en fait, comme on l'a fait remarquer tout à l'heure, c'est juste un début de travail. Très rapidement, on va finaliser et nous attendons les suggestions de tous les participants. Merci.
Thank you very much. Can we go to the community? Please, let's quick reports. Yes, community, are ready? They are ready.
Thank you so much. The community also deliberated and came up with some sessions. Yes, Brian, and that work will be done by Brian. President, I thought we said people who are in this room should not be on the list. The community raised the issue that some people on the science are in the room. So can we be clear about that one?
Yeah, you are right. For the plenary session, we said that we cannot nominate ourselves. It's not possible. If you nominate yourself and we have a backup that is another person, we prefer to put the person did not come, then we put you in. To be fair. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Yvette. So, yeah, community is always community. And I know everyone is tired, everyone's looking like this. But we came up with a very long list and a lot of discussions. As community, we have got ways of working, so we divided into groups to come with all this. So for the non-abstract driven sessions, the first thematic area is the impact of funding cuts on communities. And what we thought on this one is the discussion is going to be among people that were really affected, which means the implementing partners, civil society, and people who have lived those experiences. So by tomorrow, Chair, President, we will have their names because we had said that we are going back and they are going to bring that. There was a very contentious discussion around this. So we'll have this commented by tomorrow. But then let's go up a little bit on session 2. My French is so bad. So I think it's impact on suspension of the American response towards HIV, something related like that. And again, we've got the speakers, Kaponene, Diomog, Sage, and Alio Diop. And again, we're going to have the backup and all the contact details for those session as well. Let's go on the third session. The third session is on addressing challenges of SRH in the context of global pushback. Our speakers is Eric from Kenya, Gracia, Violeta, and Talent Juma from Zimbabwe. And again, we'll get the backup speakers on that. And session 4 is on internet stigma and effects on mental health. Again, this was very continuous, to be broken up until we come to that. The speaker that we have so far is Alice Aya. He or she is going to work with us to provide the backup, because we will need them to come up with the representation on internet stigma and effects on mental health. Let's go on to the other. Then this is the last one on session on design-driven abstracts. We thought we really need to talk a bit more on sustainability. And so we really unpacked what sustainability and domestic financing mean. So the one in bold letters there is going to be the thematic topic to discuss, which is leveraging public-private partnership to bridge funding gaps to optimize HIV differentiated service delivery. Very, very mouthful, but wanted to address everything that we were thinking about. The speakers that we have for this session is Philippa Trecker. Why importantly on those Sarwood on domestic financing some years ago. So we want to take from the lessons learned then to bring them back and see where should we have done correctly over the years, so that we don't have the same issues that we are facing now after the funding cuts. And then we're going to have Humphrey Ndodo, who's going to present on the AIDS levy from Zimbabwe, how NAC is working with other regional partners so that they'll be able to, almost copy and paste what Zimbabwe did on their AIDS levy as a sustainability issue. So I was going to speak on that. And then we have Dr. Lipe from NHIS, the health insurance. Again, they're going to almost share their expertise on this topic. And we're still working on the backup. This is going to be filled by tomorrow, President. So it's so now on the workshops, again, the 3 sessions, we have with our workshops, and the first topic is on safety and security for gay, bisexual, and transgender women in HIV advocacy. The point person is Mark Darling. So I know this is very sensitive when it comes to Ghana, and we are going to find ways on how this can be presented. We had a similar issue in Zimbabwe, and we came up with a plan. So don't worry about this if someone's going to ask. But Mark Darling is an activist. He's ready to present on this. Workshop 2 is on Salem. Again, another contentious issue area. That's why I've got a lot of individuals are going to present. So I'm not going to name names, but I'm going to just name organizations. We've got ITPC, ICW, AGML, Treatment Action Campaign, and someone from UNAIDS to present. So this is going to be identified, and names are coming again. As we are speaking right now, people are busy populating this in the Google document that you are working. So by this time, possibly it's different from how it's looking now. And then the workshop 3 is strengthening support for mental health and well-being. So this is going to be presented in the context of faith leaders addressing mental health and well-being, the issues around stigma, and some of the speakers are going to come from Zambia, Kenya, and Ghana. They are the names There is a program called Waka Culture that has been coined in Zimbabwe, and I think it's been being included elsewhere as well. So someone from Waka Culture program is going to present that. So we're done with workshop. Let's go on the last one. The special sessions go up a little bit. So for special session 1, we have got integration of community-led interventions in the pediatric HIV care and treatment. And these are presenters. This one was done well because at least you see there are some speakers on the, so it's a little bit that is left to have the co-chair and the chairperson as well as the emails of the speakers. As session 2, please. Session 2, go down a little bit, yes. Yeah, Session 2 is the current legal environment in response to key populations programming. This is done by a legal expert, Alan Malaysia. I know some will question because it was last time, and we are as community we've agreed that this is the best person right now with legal expertise on discussing about these issues that are happening within the context of our African region. So it's the best person that is going to present on that one. We're going to have one speaker from Global Black Women Comment. They're going to give us a speaker. So just put there as an organization. And then the last is going to be community member. This is going to be a key population and a referent. His name is Jude. He's a Nigerian and is going to present that again. And the backup is someone from ASWA, someone from Imara, and an individual from African people who use drugs as well on that session. We'll get their emails and the co-chair and the chairperson. As session 3, those are the speakers, and I need to learn from Manflo how to understand French. Yeah, but something to do with adolescent and optimizing implications. So I need to learn more about that. But then we will get the backup. The Francophone guys are working on that to have that field together. Then session 4, enhancing community approaches to uphold the rights of marginalized communities. This is more of high level, high powered session. So we've got a member of parliament from Uganda. We've got Richard Muko from EVAC, and we get another speaker from Ghana. Ghana community is focusing on this to get that, and we get their details, including the backup speakers. Then I think this is the last one. Yes, session 5, we copied from the vice president. He said this in the morning, and we deliver as community. African solutions for African problems. And we have got speakers that we already have. I've got them now on my phone. I'll check. They were coming in Zura, so they are not here. A person from ACDC, and I think from ACDC we have got where's this? Dr. Luke Reik from ACDC, representing from ACDC. From Rex, we have got Chief Fortune Charumbira. I'm sorry, from Regional Parliamentary, we have got Chief Charumbira and a Ghanaian going, His Excellency Wamukele Nene from AFCFTA. We speak under Rex, and then we'll get our backup speakers. So that's where we are. It's work that we need to do. So in progress, and yeah. Oh, we see. No, we're done. The workshop. No, the workshop was the second one. Yeah. 3 parents for us. Questions.
Taking comments, President.
Quick ones. We still have 2 more things to do.
We cannot hear you, President.
Your mic.
Thank you very much. I just want to make a comment on African solutions for African problems, where you talk about the regional parliamentarians. You mentioned, is it Honorable Moloke? So I want to suggest that we add one French parliamentarian also, who are now, I think the parliamentarians are coming together. In all, the African parliamentarians are coming together now for domestic resource mobilization from Africa. And they have launched it's a group of parliamentarians in the whole of Africa. So in April, they are coming to Ghana to launch the Ghana parliamentarians. And Africa is using these parliamentarians for domestic resource mobilization. So I want us to add one French parliamentarian. I'll give you the name who is leading it in French-speaking countries so that it will balance. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pardon?
Mr. Chair, if you allow me, I think that this is a very good opportunity. Talking about the parliamentarians, we should them a pre-conference meeting on domestic financing.
Yes.
To be
Yes.
great, please.
Yes.
After this meeting, let us talk about it so that we can have all the parliamentarians here to talk about domestic financing in Africa. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Luke. Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Just a comment for reflection. I think that for communities, that session on the financing, something like I don't remember the name, but something related to modalities of financing mechanisms is relevant and a big concern for communities. But I was wondering if we can agree where to position that element, because in the end of the story, those actions are policy making and policy. And that also can be under the scope of the leadership. And just to comment, our colleagues will present, but we have one kind of very similar proposal for a session in the leadership program. Is just to define, in which of the program side could be. There's a proposal to have Dr. Victor Bampo from Ghana in that session here or there, but there's also a potential second option for the consideration of the group. We have the chair of the technical working group on the Mahama Care initiative too. Forgot the name, sorry, but maybe we can give the name, but that's also a potential Ghanaian. It's an academic that has been appointed by the president to lead that initiative of the Mahama Care initiative. But of course, also Victor Bampo is an option. And I just want to have a quick intervention on that session on that could be polemic. If may I see the title there, because I think it's really relevant to position those topics for the communities and make key populations visible. But I was wondering if we could have some title that could sound safe for both sides. I think, and I'm not sure if we could try to rephrase that, and I'm thinking in protecting both sides, communities and organizers, to phrase it like MSM, transgender, and blah, blah, blah. We know that MSM includes gay men and bisexual men. I'm just thinking in the language we have been using in AIDS strategies and political declarations. And again, my comment is also to try to have a balance and a protected language that works for communities and works for organizers, and not expose our communities on the potential conditions. But this is just a consideration, and I think it's up to the communities to decide what they want to do. But this is a suggestion to try to balance over. Thank you.
Yes, I think community just take a lot of those comments into consideration. Some of them complement each other. Some of them need to be defined properly. So just go back with time to reconsider the comments that have been passed.
Yes, and people can consult with us with the names, but also around the issues of protective language for LGBTQI people, I think we need to also consider it that we are using the language that is currently being used, and there is no safe way unless we want to cancel some populations so that we are safe. Thank you.
Yeah, there is no, you don't want to cancel anybody at all. Okay. The last presentation, and I think we must thank community this time. They have worked very, very hard to reach that consensus level. Thank you so much. Finally, leadership. Leadership.
Thank you very much, Chair. The leadership, as you can see, is work in progress because it was a very difficult task to come up with the proposed speakers now. So we have completed the list of the topics, but the list of the speakers is work in progress. So my our rapporteur, Cecilia will take you through the list, but it is work in progress. We are going to work on it. And you know that some of the topics here are very high level, and we need to really think about who is going to speak to which topic here. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you very much. So we have the non-abstract driven sessions. The first one, the role of leadership at all levels for strengthening health systems to sustain AIDS, TB, and malaria services. The second one under that is strategies for effective mentorship and coaching for translating research in policy and programming. The third one, adolescent and youth. Can you go down for me? Adolescent and youth, thought leadership to strengthen prevention. And then same under abstract, non-abstract driven, we have leadership framework for responding to funding crises and uncertainties in national response to HIV, TB, and other pandemics. The next one is in French. So my French-speaking colleague will talk about it. The workshop, we've come out with a number of workshops. The first one, impact of humanitarian crisis on access, HIV, tuberculosis and malaria prevention care and treatment in Africa. The second one, the role of leadership in mobilizing private sectors to finance health systems in HIV and STI programs. Community-led, third workshop, community-led monitoring for ending epidemics, implication for ending AIDS, TB, and malaria. And so special sessions, we have a number of them. The first one, triple elimination, what leadership we need to address the challenges. Leadership to close the gap in ending AIDS in children. Third one, the role of AU regional economic blocks and governments in securing sustainable health funding. The fourth one, mobilizing mobilizing DRM and fostering political commitment to health, HIV, TB, malaria, and protection systems. The fifth special session, responsibility of the leadership in promoting communication for behavior and social change in the perspective of the triple elimination. I think these are all that we have. Thank you.
Well presented. We still look forward to your speakers. And so it's real work in progress. Any comments? Questions? Yes, Nyaradzo.
Thank you. Just a quick one. You talk about triple elimination. That's very ambiguous or vague. I think you need to state what triple elimination of what. Are we talking about ATM or there's so many triple eliminations?
Okay, thank you for taking notes.
You've taken note of that triple eliminations, to be more precise, suppose. Any other comment? Right. Let me thank you for your work in progress. Thank you. So we will be expecting that to be completed, obviously, by tomorrow. Yeah. Now, the wrap up, according to our agenda, there are 3 items that we haven't done for today, but we have covered quite a lot. We have not done call for partnerships and the marketing strategy, the Icasa abstract reviews, and the call for country bid. But otherwise, we have done quite well in the end. Now, it says wrap up of the day. I've just wrapped up.